Yeah, still I'll wait for a minute. How many are there in this batch total? No, then still 20 or so left then. No, well, it was just the introduction thing. I don't want them to miss initially. But yeah, I'll just wait for like 35, then I'll start. After this also you have lecture. Yeah. Till what, 1 o'clock? Yeah. On a Sunday also. Yeah. Sunday also 6:30. Yeah. Why? Yeah. I know. You chose CA. No ICI module re baba. Chalo, I'll start then. Listen, okay. The subject and the chapter that we are basically starting off with is nothing but auditing. And today we are starting off with the first chapter of that, which is nature, objective, and scope of auditing. Basically, it is introduction to auditing as such. Okay. As far as your auditing subject is concerned, it is a theoretical subject, theoretical from exam point of view, but very practical from real point of view. It means once you become a chartered accountant, I'm very sure that definitely if you practice chartered accountancy, what you will do is audit. But I'm definitely not sure that once you become a chartered accountant, you will make accounts. See, at such I hope realize when you do accounts is a practical subject because you solve sums. But in reality, when you become a chartered accountant, you are not going to make accounts anyways. Because I hope that is a normal accountant's job. That is not a chartered accountant's job. But I hope realize when you are learning here theory in auditing, definitely once you become a chartered accountant, you are going to apply that theory to do auditing. Obviously, we are going to learn what do you mean and all that. But as of now, I'm telling you in exam, theoretical, in outside, practical. Talking about your auditing subject, it is paper 6, which is for 100 marks. So entire 100 marks theoretical, not difficult subject. The only thing as such which is required for the purpose of auditing is good language. If you have good language skills, if you have good English language control, then trust me, you can easily score in auditing very high. Huh. I have had nothing but students who basically have scored really well in auditings, marks like 88, 91, 87, 86. So there have been many cases where ultimately you can score really good in auditing, but obviously your language should be good enough. Now, coming back to what we are going to do today, which is nature, objectives, and scope of auditing. Don't ask me any doubts in between. I'm not going to solve. When I will tell you ultimately, if you have any doubts, that is when you ask me. If you keep on asking me or bulging me with doubts during the explanation, I'm not going to see, I'm not going to solve. Because during the explanation, I want to focus on explanation. Okay. So listen. Yeah. Arey, what will I do of telling my name? Yeah. What will it do? Yeah. During the course, you will realize. Yeah. Chill. Huh. I mean, you got a doubt. What is your name? Yeah. No. Yeah. Now listen. Listen. No. Paper pattern, all that I'll tell you later. Don't worry. Paper pattern, etc. Once the subject ends. As of now, at least learn the subject. You are more interested in the things which basically are not of any use at all. Huh. And that also on a Sunday morning at 6:30 when most of the public in the entire world is sleeping, at least India. Yeah. Now listen. Huh. Now, first question. Come on, let me ask you. What do you mean by audit? Come on, let me see how much, yeah, salt do you have? Come on, what do you mean by auditing? Something that at least you should know. No. Come on, then tell me what do you mean by auditing? Come on. Now you can, yeah, chat. Now you can talk. Tell me. Auditing. Something, yeah. Inspection, checking, okay. Inspection of accounts, verification of accounts, inspection of the books of accounts, checking, verifying accounts, examination of accounts, inspection of the books of accounts. Again, oh, everybody has started. Evaluation of financial statements, okay. Verification of financial statements, okay. I'm looking for that one word also. I'm not getting, hence I'm waiting. Come on, yeah. Something more that you think auditing is after checking. Scrutinizing. Oh my god, that is nothing but again English language high level. I just told you should be good at English and people have started. Checking if they have complied with accounting standards and principles or not. Investigation. No, definitely not investigation. There's a different. To check any fraud is there or not. Okay. Independent examination. Okay. Examination and evaluation. Okay. If one was not okay. Okay. Presenting true and fair view of the financial statements. Proper textbook. Uh-huh. Okay. Checking accuracy. Okay. Examination of books of accounts. Okay. Still not that one word which I want. But yeah. Overviewing. Okay. Fair enough. See, basically what people are telling. Now stop. Okay. Compliance. Okay. Okay. Basically, when I asked nothing but, even in class also, when they were offline lectures, that, okay, tell me what do you mean by auditing? Major answers that people always used to give me was this only. It is checking of the financial statements. But there is something more to it. What more to it? You also have to give an opinion after checking the financial statements. That how are the financial statements? That obviously I will tell you during this process. But to understand the concept of auditing, let us take a simple example. Okay, focus now. Okay, all these notes etc you don't need to take down. Okay, whatever is there relevant and important to take down, I'll tell you per se. Okay, however, if you so feel, having your own brain probably which you have and working also, if you feel that you need to take down that particular thing, you may either take a screenshot or write it fast yourself. Okay, without even me telling. Okay, else yeah, whatever is important I'll anyways tell you to copy. Now, let us take a simple example. Listen. Now, who are you? I always had doubts that you will never know who you are. But yeah, that's okay. Can I say you people are nothing but students? Come on, yeah. Yeah. Now, if you are a student, use your common sense. What will come in your lifetime many number of times as a student? Don't act naughty in the morning. Correct. What you will get are nothing but many exams. Perfect. Now, my simple question to you, use your common sense. Yeah. If you're a student and if you're writing an exam, can you check your own exam paper? Can a student check their own exam paper? No. The answer is they wish. They wish they could check their own exam paper. Why? If they check their own exam paper, one thing is sure. Definitely you will have 100 out of 100. Everybody will have rank number one. But that is not possible. Correct. And therefore, can I say the exam which is written by the student cannot be checked by the student. It has to be checked by an independent third person. That independent third person, you and I both know, can I say is known as examiner? Come on, yeah. Bus. Trust me if you know this line, that if you are a student, you are writing an exam, cannot be checked by the student, it has to be checked by the examiner. You will know what is the concept of auditing. Why? Because it is the same concept. The only difference is instead of exams, what we are going to here check are the financial statements. Correct. Now, can I say like this? Every company, what they will prepare is the financial statements. To be more word specific, company is a separate legal identity. So company cannot prepare itself. They don't have hands. So somebody will prepare in the company. Who will prepare in the company? I will use simple word for it. Can I say it will be the management? So can I make a statement like this? Management of the company will make the financial statements. Come on, yeah. Now ask yourself only, no? If the management of the company are making the financial statements, can they check their own made financial statements? No. It is because even if in those financial statements there is something wrong, are the management going to tell? No. And therefore, these financial statements, which are prepared by the management, have to be checked, wordings, by an independent third person. And that independent third person is known as auditor. Correct. And what he does is known as auditing. So if anybody asks you, as such, no one will ask you, but still, if anybody asks you, what do you mean by auditing? What should be the answer? Very simple. Auditing is nothing but checking the financial statements which are prepared by the management of the company. The person who checks is the auditor, and what he does is known as auditing. Repeating, what is auditing? It is nothing but checking the financial statements which are prepared by the management of the company. The person who checks is the auditor, and what he does is known as auditing. Doubt. When I told you auditor, I hope as auditor is an independent third person. What do you mean by that independent third person? Yeah. What do you mean by independent? It means management and the auditor, should they be hand in hand? No. If they are hand in hand, I hope as obviously then again the objective will fail, no? So management and auditor, they should be related or unrelated? Unrelated. That is the meaning of independent. So auditing is a dependent examination of financial statements, or it is an independent examination of financial statements? Independent examination of financial statements. Is this okay? Okay. One more thing. Listen now. When you talk about financial statements, can you tell me what comes in the financial statements? What all are we talking about? Basically, we are talking about four things. Which four things? One, balance sheet of the company. Second, P&L of the company. Third, cash flow statement of the company. And lastly, notes to accounts, that is supplementary notes. So basically, when I say these four things comprise of the financial statements: balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, and notes to accounts. Is this much okay? Okay. So wait, last time first tell me, then I'll go a bit ahead. What do you mean by auditing? Auditing is nothing but checking the financial statements, which are prepared by the management of the company. The person who checks is the auditor. And what he does is known as auditing. Acha, auditor and management should be related. No. Acha, auditor should be dependent on the management. Yeah. No. See, dependent means he cannot come under the influence of the management. If he comes under the influence, then why are you doing audit in the first place? All cool? All cool. Acha. Now help me. Can anybody become auditor? For a simple example, you are here sitting so early in the morning on a Sunday. Okay. So my simple question to you, yeah. Can you become auditor now? If I tell you, come on, do audit of so and so company, can you do? No. So my simple question, is there any qualification? Oh yes. Come on, tell me, what will be the qualification of an auditor? Has to be something, no. Tell me, qualification, yeah. Chartered accountant, yeah. Something else? Uh, Santhya, very nice. Su- Sutharsha, nice. Okay, fair enough. Major people are telling chartered accountant. Few of them use the words practicing chartered accountant. Very good. Now hear carefully. Anybody cannot become an auditor. There has to be a qualification. The qualification of an auditor is a chartered accountant, but not a normal chartered accountant, a practicing chartered accountant. Now hear carefully. What is the difference between a chartered accountant and a practicing chartered accountant? Firstly, let me tell you that for nothing but in real life, what is the difference? Once you become a chartered accountant, you have two options for working. One, either you set up your own practice. Practice means you do the work of a chartered accountant. Means you file income tax returns for your client. You calculate GST and file GST returns for your client. You give nothing but consultation to your clients. You do nothing but auditing. So when you set up an office and you do all this, that is known as an office of a practicing chartered accountant. That's why you people have articleship, no? That is practical training. So articleship you do under a chartered accountant in his office. That chartered accountant is a practicing chartered accountant, because what he's practicing is CA. Just like doctors, basically what they practice, I hope realize, is medical, correct? Similarly, lawyers, they practice law. Similarly, chartered accountants, they practice chartered accountancy. So when I say they practice chartered accountancy, what do they do? File returns, calculate taxation, then ultimately there is auditing, international taxation, so and so. Second thing, if you don't want to practice, you don't want to set up an office and practice as a chartered accountant, you can join any company or do your own business. So for a simple example, if I join, say TCS, for example, as an employee, then I hope you realize, then I'm not a practicing chartered accountant. I may be a chartered accountant, but I work not as a practicing chartered accountant, but for someone, or I can set up my own business also. Understood? Okay. Now coming here, I told you that qualification is not a normal chartered accountant. It is a practicing chartered accountant. Now, who is a practicing chartered accountant? A chartered accountant who is holding a certificate of practice, commonly known as COP, which is issued by ICAI. Repeating, a practicing chartered accountant is a chartered accountant who is holding a COP. What is COP? Certificate of Practice, which is issued by ICAI. Acha. It means only if you have a COP from ICAI, only then you people are a practicing chartered accountant. Only then you people are qualified to become auditor, and only then you can do auditing. Is this much okay? Okay. Now, important to understand. In examination, normally, by default, whenever they just say chartered accountant, we will always assume by default he is a practicing chartered accountant. Repeating, in examinations, by default, whenever they will just use the word chartered accountants, by default we will assume that he is a practicing chartered accountant. Just to give you examples and no confusion, 3 examples. Focus properly. Okay. One, supposing, say, Mr. R, a chartered accountant, in practice is qualified to be appointed as an auditor. Come on, first thing, read the question. Mr. R, a chartered accountant in practice, is qualified to be appointed as an auditor. Come on, think and tell me, is he qualified? Come on, yeah, yes. Can you tell me why yes? Because the question itself has told that he is in practice. It means, can I say he's definitely qualified? Come on, yeah. Okay, so answer is definitely yes. Okay, second one. Mr. S, a chartered accountant, not in practice, other things remaining the same, is qualified to be appointed as an auditor. Come on, your answer. Is he qualified? No. Why, yeah? So rude, yeah? Why no? Correct. Because can I say he is not in practice? When I say he is not in practice, it means he's a CA. But is he holding a COP? No. So can he do audit? No. So is he qualified? No. Correct. And the last one, and the important one. Mr. T, a chartered accountant, other things remaining same, is qualified to be appointed as an auditor. Come on, now think and answer. Yes or no? Yes. Can you tell me why yes? Somebody is still telling no. Hey, why yeah? You're still in sleep, yeah, like me? No, no. Uh, Correct. Can I say, see, here the question has not told whether in practice or not in practice. That's why I told you by default, whenever the question does not mention whether in practice or not in practice, by default, we always assume that they are practicing chartered accountants. And therefore, can I say definitely the answer will be yes. Is this okay? Acha. Students ask me such doubts for real life also. Sir, acha, chartered accountant became. For COP, we have to give another exam. I didn't know, yeah. How many exams will you give? Yeah. Ha, na. Already you have to give so much for inter. Then equal number of papers you have to give for final also. Chill, yeah. Just become a chartered accountant. Make an application to ICI regarding nothing but COP. Obviously, they will not do it for free because they anyways don't do. So you will have to pay the requisite fees. Once you pay the requisite fees, you will get the COP. Then you will become a practicing CA. Then you are qualified to become the auditor. Then you can do audit. Is this much okay? Okay. Now, up till now, before I go to the next part, come on, tell me. Firstly, What is auditing? Correct. Can I say it is an independent examination of the financial statements prepared by the management of the company? Agreed. Acha, financial statements include basically how many things? Four. Balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, notes to accounts. There is one more statement showing changes in equity, but that is not applicable to all the companies. So I have not written. This is what is applicable to all. Okay. Acha, apart from that, when you talk about auditor, is there any qualification? Yes. He should be a chartered accountant. To be very word specific, he has to be a practicing chartered accountant. When I say practicing chartered accountant, it means a chartered accountant who is holding what? Correct. Certificate of practice issued by ICI. Acha. In the examination, in the question, they have not told whether in practice or not. What do we assume? Correct. We assume by default he is always a practicing chartered accountant. Till here, all cools? All cools. Let's go a bit ahead. Listen now. Now think and tell me. Who are the owners of the company? Yeah? Owners. Correct. Come on, yeah. You people know from the childhood only. Can I say owners are the shareholders? Uh, Acha. Now think and tell me. You are right. Owners of the company are shareholders. What do they invest? Money. Brains obviously less. Money is there. They are investing. Now, my simple question to you, although the shareholders invest money, do they take active participation in the day-to-day business? Have you ever seen a shareholder of a company pack up the bag and go to that company for doing work? No. So my simple question to you, when I say the shareholders invest money, do they take active participation? No. Then who does that? Correct. Can I say it is done by the board of directors? Perfect. Let us keep a simple word for them also, management. Okay. Although you should know and understand in a company, there are different levels of management. Obviously, there is the topmost level of management. That basically comprises of the board of directors. Then there is nothing but I hyperlize the normal level, mid-level management. There is bottom level management also. Here I am using nothing but a general word management, which consists of everything, everybody. If I want to make a difference between normal management and the top level management, I will tell you differently that I am talking about the top level management here. Okay, because some responsibilities belong to them only. But as of now, just for simplicity, generality, let us use the word management. Okay. So my simple question to you, shareholders, they invest money. Do they take active participation? No. That is done by the BOD or the management. Agreed? Acha. Now, supposing say you people are the shareholders. Okay. And I am the board of director. Okay. Now you have invested money. Do you have a right to know whether your money is properly used or not? Yes. So can you ask me that question? Yes. So supposing say shareholders, you people are asking me, Rahul, tell me, whether ultimately our money is properly used or not. If you ask me that particular question, my answer always will be one only. Are shareholder, don't worry. Your money is always properly used. It is in safe hands. So my simple question to you, can you blindly, as a shareholder, rely on the management? No. Even if they are doing something wrong with your money, are they going to tell you? No. Then use common sense. Na. There has to be somebody who comes and tells you that what wrong is happening with your money, which you have invested. It cannot be the management. Then can you tell me who will it be? Come on, yeah. Correct. Can I say it will be basically the auditor? See, if you have understood this much, that he will be the auditor, you should understand the next statement. It means auditor is like an intermediary. He is an intermediary between who and who? Come on, yeah. Correct. Can I say he is an intermediary between the management and the shareholders? It means whatever is done by the management will be checked by the auditor, and auditor will then report to the shareholders. Perfect. Repeating, whatever is done by the management, which will be checked by the auditor, then he will report to the shareholders. So shareholder are not hearing from the management. Shareholders will hear from the auditor. And auditor's job is only to tell them what is happening inside the company. Is this okay? Okay. If you have understood this, we should understand the process of auditing. Okay. Simple, but still you need to understand. Focus. Now, if there is a company run by the management, correct. Management will make the financial statements. These financial statements have to be checked. cannot be checked by the management. They have to be checked by the auditor. Oh. Now, after checking the financial statements, auditor, he has to give an opinion. Just as I told to you, once you check the financial statements, that is not enough. You have to go something more also. So what you have to do is you have to give an opinion on the financial statements, whether they are showing a true and fair view or not. It means either they will show or they will not show true and fair view. What is true and fair view? I will tell you in great detail a bit later. Okay. As of now, understand he has to tell whether the financial statements are proper or not. Okay. And this opinion, the auditor will have to tell it to the shareholders. This is the simple process. Nothing fancy. Come on, tell me. Firstly, the company. Acha, run by the management. They will make the financial statements. Financial statements have to be checked. Acha, checked by the auditor. He has to give an opinion on the financial statements, whether they are showing a true and fair view or not, whether it shows or it does not show, whether they are proper or not proper. He has to tell it to the shareholders. See, that is why I told you that auditor is an intermediary between the bolo yaar, management and the shareholders, because whatever is done by the management has to be checked by the auditor, and eventually he will report to the shareholders. Is this okay? Okay. Most important word out of this entire process, if you ask me, is this word. He has to give an opinion. Now I'll ask you a simple question. When I say he has to give an opinion, how will he give his opinion? He will give his opinion orally. He will call up every shareholder, how are you? And then he will talk and give opinion. No. Then can I say, definitely he will give his opinion in writing. And when I say it is in writing, that will be through something known as, correct, a report. See, when you check anything at the end, you have to give a report. Now, for a simple example, I do a blood test. At the end, I'll get a report of it. So whatever was my test of financial statements. At the end, there will be a report. But report will be given by auditor. Correct. And therefore, it is known as auditor's report. So in this auditor's report, what the auditor will do is he will definitely tell to the shareholders whether the company's financial statements are showing a true and fair view or not. And at the end, obviously, can I say auditor will put his sign? So can I say responsibility of this report is of the auditor? Huh. Can you tell me he will address the report to whom? Can I say he will definitely address the report to the shareholders of the company? See, obviously, this depends. The addressee depends that he will address the report to whom. In this example, it is the shareholders, because ultimately you are doing audit of a company. Supposing, say, you are doing audit of a partnership firm, then obviously he will have two partners. Say you are doing audit of a cooperative society, then it will be to the members. Say you are doing audit of a trust, then it will be to the trustees. So your addressee will depend upon whose audit you are getting. As of now, I've just taken a company for nothing but simplicity to understand. So can I say it will be two shareholders opinion, and at the end he will sign. Agreed? Okay. Now the important question. Think and answer. Don't be in a hurry. Who has written this report? Auditor. Correct. This report should go to whom? Shareholders. Correct. Simple question. Who will send this report to the shareholders? Auditor. Think. Who will send this report to the shareholders? Auditor. No. It is not the duty of the auditor to send. It is the duty of the BOD to send. So you know what will happen basically? The auditor, he will prepare his report, which is auditor's report. Once he prepares his auditor's report, then he will give this report to the management of the company. And then management will give that report to the shareholders. See, he's an auditor. He's not somebody who's going to circulate that. He is not like a postman where he will go on the cycle along with his report, and at every shareholder's place, report, report he will do. That is not his job. His job is to give an opinion. He gave an opinion. So this report, he will give it first to the management. Management will make copies of it and they will distribute it to the shareholders. Why am I telling you this? For two things. One, obviously you need to know, you need to learn. Second, this is important from exam point of view. Has been asked in the exam for 2 marks, correct, incorrect question. The duty to circulate the report to the shareholders is of the auditor. Come on, correct or incorrect? Incorrect. Can I say the answer? The duty to circulate the report is of the BOD, not the auditors. Is this much okay? Okay. So up till now, whatever we people have done, this was basically the first part. When I told you what do you mean by auditing, the qualification of an auditor by default, if there is nothing mentioned, practicing chartered accountant. Then I told you nothing but about this second part. Shareholders, they invest money, but I hope that they don't run the business run by the BOD. If they do something wrong, there has to be somebody, then that somebody will be auditor. So basically, I hope realize auditor is an intermediary between the management and the shareholders. Thereafter, I told you the process. Company main part was this: the auditor has to give an opinion. He will not give an opinion orally. He will give it in writing through nothing but a report known as auditor's report. This auditor's report, obviously, the auditor will write it and give it to the board of directors, and then that report will be given by the BOD to nothing but the shareholders. Acha, will the addressee of the report always be the same? No. Will it depend? Yes. Acha, supposing, just for your knowledge and real life also, say I am auditor, okay, Mr. R chartered accountant. Say I am auditor of X Limited, okay, X Limited company. Then this company, can I say if I am auditor, company is auditee. Huh. But here commonly they are not known as auditee, they are known as client. So supposing if I am the auditor, then X Limited is my client. Correct. One more thing, think and answer. Huh? Now say I am in Mumbai, which I am sitting right now. Acha. Now, say my client is not in Mumbai. Say client is somewhere. Where are you from? Tell me. I'll write. Bangalore. Chennai. Chennai, Coimbatore, spaces like that. Yeah. Tamil Nadu. Let's check Chennai. It's okay. Long time I've not been. Yeah. Even Coimbatore I've not been a long time. Anyways, let us not talk about that. I'll get into food later. Acha. So I'm from Mumbai and say X Limited, the client is in Chennai. Now think and answer. Think and answer. Where will audit happen? Audit will happen at my office in Mumbai or client's office in Chennai? Where? Correct. Can I say audit will happen at the client's office in Chennai? Why? Because the books of accounts and the financial statements are there. I cannot bring those books of accounts to Mumbai. Those books of accounts are there. I have to go there and check. So I, along with a few people like assistants, etc., will go to Chennai, audit the financial statements, come back, form an opinion, and then sign the report. Signing of the report can definitely happen at the client's place also. That is not a problem. But one thing is sure, audit will happen at the client's premises, not at the office of the auditor. Is this okay? Okay. Now, why do you do audit? There has to be, sir, because you are telling. Shitty. Nonsense. Acha. Can I say you auditing? Because obviously there has to be some benefits at the end. No. So next part. Auditing advantages, disadvantages. Acha. Advantages asked in the examination separately for 4 to 5 marks. Disadvantages also are separately for 4 to 5 marks independently. What is more important out of the two? Disadvantages has been asked many number of times. These disadvantages that we people are talking about, these disadvantages are also known as, hear carefully, inherent limitations of auditing. Repeating, inherent limitations of auditing. Now, when I say inherent limitations, limitations you already know. What do you mean by inherent? Inherent is basically inbuilt. And when I say inbuilt, it means unavoidable. It means I hope realize you can never overcome these limitations. They are always going to remain. That is the meaning of inherent limitations of auditing. So whether they ask you disadvantages or whether they ask you inherent limitations, answer will remain the same. Whether they ask you advantages, whether they ask you benefits, can I say answer will remain the same? Just the wordings are different, else everything is still the same. All cool? All cool. So now let us understand advantages and disadvantages. We'll go one by one. Firstly, obviously the advantages. Focus, huh? Listen. What are the advantages? I have here. See, these are the advantages and obviously the disadvantages which you can see on the other side. Acha, what do you mean by inherent? Correct. Inbuilt. What do you mean by inbuilt? It can be overcome, right? No. So it is avoidable or unavoidable? Unavoidable. Correct. See, it is like giving an examination here. There is always a risk that you may fail. That is a risk. That is inbuilt always. Whenever you give an exam, that is always going to remain. You cannot overcome that. There is no exam where you can say, always pass. Obviously, until unless there's college exams. But anyways. Acha. So now let us first talk about advantages. Okay. Focus. When you talk about advantages, firstly, can I say it safeguards financial interest? How does it safeguard financial interest? Mad. I told you here only. Shareholders invest money. So obviously shareholders have financial interest now in the company. But my simple question to you, were they taking active participation? No. Acha, were they knowing if the management was doing something wrong? No. So who is there to safeguard their interest? Auditor. So auditor will check whether management is doing something wrong or not. And at the end will report to the shareholders only. No, yeah. Huh. So can I say definitely auditing, it safeguards the financial interest. Next, auditing will help us to know whether books of accounts are properly kept or not. Whether books of accounts are properly maintained or not. Why? Or what why? Can I say auditor has to check books of accounts only? Acha, by the way, when I talk about books of accounts and when I talk about financial statements, is there a difference? Many times they are used interchangeably, but my question, is there a difference? There is. Books of accounts is a wider term, financial statements is a narrower term. From the books of accounts, you make the financial statements. Books of accounts includes everything. Hello. When I say it includes everything, cash book, bank book, journal, ledgers, then I hope realize there is day purchase book, day sales book, everything. But I hope when I say financial statements, I made myself very clear. These four things: balance sheet, P&L, cash flow, notes to accounts. So I have not included any journal, day book, purchase book, anything here. So can I say definitely there is a difference between the two? Come on, yeah. Auditor has the right to check books of accounts, everything. But he will give an opinion not on the books of accounts. He will give an opinion on the final made financial statements. Correct. So obviously there is a difference between the two, many times used interchangeably, but there exists a difference. Here what I'm telling is, auditor, when he will audit, he will come to know whether books of accounts are properly kept or not. All cools? All cools. Next, auditing helps to obtain loans. Loans. How? Let us take an example to understand. Simple, yeah. Listen. Now, supposing if I tell you something like this, where did I go? Yeah. If I tell you something like this, say there are two companies. Okay, say X and Y. Next. Acha. Now, say both of them want to take a loan. Both of them. And say both of them want to take a loan of rupees 50 lakhs. Now, if you want to take a loan, whom will you approach? Me. I wish. Correct. Can I say you'll have to approach a bank? Come on, yeah. Acha. Now, will the bank give you the loan on face value? Look at you. No. Can I say bank will obviously do nothing but some checking? They will also do KYC, know your customer. Then what does it mean? Can I say bank will definitely check the financial position? Come on, yeah. Achha. So obviously bank is going to check the balance sheet of both the companies. Agreed? Say balance sheet of both the companies almost the same. Almost. Say tallies at the same amount. Hypothetical. I just want to explain a concept. Okay. So balance sheet, financial position, same. Both want to take a loan, 50 lakhs, same. Now say you are the bank. Okay. Now you are checking the financial position of both the companies, X and Y. Now this company X has their financial statements which are audited. Whereas this company is Y, financial statements are unaudited. You understand? Unaudited, not audited. Okay. So now supposing say you are the bank and you have nothing but X and Y's financial position, balance sheets. This is audited, this is not audited. So can you tell me you will rely on which one? Common sense, audited. So even if you want to give a loan out of these two, you will be giving the loan to X or Y. Correct, X. Can you tell me why? Correct. Because the financial statements are audited. See, what does that mean? If the financial statements are audited, can I say definitely they are more reliable? Come on, yeah. It means, can I say they are definitely more credible? Come on, yeah. And therefore, it helps you to obtain loans, no? See? So always remember why? Because the banks and the financial institutions, they always prefer not normal financial statements. They always prefer audited financial statements because then it becomes simpler. I'm not getting this company cannot get, but out of this two, the simpler version is this one. Is this okay? Okay. So next, it helps you to obtain loans. Next, it helps you to find out any wastages and losses which are happening. See, can I say when you talk about production processes, your costing has started costing. Then you already know now there is something like normal loss, abnormal loss. Correct? Now, normal loss obviously which happens during the process. Abnormal loss which is not during the process but some other activity. Okay. Obviously, in abnormal losses, hypothetically there can be some theft also which can happen. For a simple example, say I am that laborer who is working. Okay. So I put something into the process. Okay. I know my normal losses say 2% or 3% of whatever input I put. Okay. But say later on what I did is nothing but I defalcated some of the goods which came. And I told to the management, Arey management, I don't know. Suddenly the machine was not working properly. More loss happened. It can happen, no. So now my simple question to you, can I say there is more wastage? There is more loss than what was expected? Now auditor will come into picture. So auditor will check the production process, whether it is proper or not. And suddenly if he comes to know everything was working properly only, and if there is nothing but that defalcation which has happened, then can I say auditor can easily find that? So basically auditing helps you to find out any wastages and losses, especially of an abnormal nature. All cools? All cools. Come on, next one. It helps to keep a moral check on the employees. Now, what do you mean by moral check? Yeah, let us understand. Listen now. Can I say in every company, how so bigger the company, how so smaller the company, in every company, can I say there will be some fraud? Fraud also, big to big, small to small. Vijay Malia, etc. Or there can be small frauds, like even I can do something. Okay. Acha. Have I done? Let us not talk about it now. Later on. Okay. Acha. So supposing, obviously, if every company are there, there will be some fraud. Along with fraud, there will also be something known as error. So can I say in every company there'll be frauds and errors? Wait, first you think and tell me. Is there a difference between fraud and error? Oh yes. Fraud is intentional. Error is unintentional. Correct. Is this okay? Now my simple question to you, who will do these frauds and errors in the company? Perfect. Can I say who will do that are the management? But now use common sense. Say I am auditor. You are management. You are trying to commit something which is wrong. But you know that auditor is looking. Will you do that wrong when you know that somebody is checking? No. Can I say you may be prevented from doing that? Then use common sense. It means I am keeping a moral check on you that behave yourself and do what is right. It means if I keep that moral check on you, then frauds and errors will increase or they will decrease. Correct. Frauds and errors will decrease. See, if you really want to understand the concept now, I have example also. Say for a simple example like this, say you are in your room studying, assumed that you're studying. Okay. So you basically have nothing but the book. And then obviously on that you have nothing but the cell phone and you are watching some series of yours. Okay. Assume. Now the room is closed. The room is closed decently. Not locked from inside, but closed. Now you are definitely doing something wrong. Okay. Now suddenly one of the parent enters. Okay. The door opens. The first thing that you will do is nothing but you will lock your phone. And thereafter you'll be like, I'm just studying. Like that. Wait, exactly moral check. I'll tell you how. Say you are the management. You are trying to do something wrong. Your parent was the auditor. Just keeps a check on you, whether you're doing something right or not. Now, suddenly you come to know I was doing wrong. Then you are prevented that from doing more, no? Exactly the case here also. Moral check on employees if obviously the auditor checks them. All cool? All cool. Come on. Next one. Next one is 3 in 1. It helps in settling disputes. Repeating, auditing helps in settling disputes. How many types of disputes? Tax disputes, trade disputes, and partnership disputes. Repeating, tax disputes, trade disputes, partnership disputes. We'll go one by one. Okay. First, we will take up tax dispute. How can a tax dispute arise? Say it is something like this. Mr. R, your taxation has started, direct tax. So at least you know there is something like assessee. There is something like income tax authority. Okay, say I am assessee, Mr. R. Okay, so I have to file my income tax return along with my financial statements to the income tax authority. I have to file. Say I told that my tax liability is 5 lakhs as per me, and whatever financial statements I have sent now, say they are unaudited. My simple question to you, will they rely on these financial statements, you think? No. Can I say definitely they will raise some query? They will raise some doubt. They will raise some dispute. Array, your tax should be not 5 lakhs. In unaudited financial statements, we are finding so many things which are wrong. Everything seems wrong. It can be 15 lakhs. Oh my God. Then can you tell me better way to avoid this dispute? Get the financial statements audited. If you get the financial statements audited, will they rely on them more? Oh yes. Then you can easily settle the dispute. Let me now tell you something in real, okay? When I say in unaudited financial statement they got something wrong, they can get something wrong in audited financial statements also. So don't have that in the mind, that misconception that if your financial statements are audited, everything is correct in that. No. I hope there can be something wrong also. Acha, will a chartered accountant do that? So basically, I hope guys don't have that in the head that if it is audited, there will never be disputes. There will be. Obviously, the chances of the disputes will be very lesser. Just like obviously the chances of getting a loan are definitely higher for audited. But obviously, you cannot tell there will not be disputes only. There are questions raised on audited financial statements also, because obviously nobody has 100% credibility. All cool? All cool. So firstly, tax disputes. Next, trade disputes. Now, when you talk about trade disputes, it happens between the workers of the company and the management of the company. How? Let us understand. Repeating, workers of the company and the management of the company. Say you people are the workers. Okay. You want an increase in the wages. So your union leader, he came to me. I'm the management. You are the worker. He came to me and he told me, Rahul, increase. I was like, you want to increase? Increase the wages? I was like, not possible. I rejected the plea. What reason did I give? There is loss or there is not too much profit. It is very less. I cannot give you any increase. Union leader got angry. Union leader is accusing the management that you are taking all the money for yourself only and you're not giving anything to us. So I was like, you have doubt on me? Wait, let us do audit. Let us solve the doubt. I will do audit. You check the financial statements and then only see whether there is any loss or there is too much profit. If there is any loss still, then I will not pay you the wages. If there is high profit, I will give you the increase. So can I say the dispute can get settled by doing auditing? Now do you understand? Okay. And the last one, partnership disputes. This is so simple, yeah. Partnership dispute. Supposing say there are 3 partners, okay, A, B, and C, partnership firm. Okay. Now, obviously there are partners, there are people disputes. It is like that only. So ultimately, supposing say this C is accusing A and B that you are taking more share in profits. And how are you taking more share? By manipulating the financial statements. So C got very angry. He's like, this is wrong. A and B got more angry. How can you accuse us of that? So A and B told Mr. C, let us do one thing. Let us do audit. You bring a chartered accountant from somewhere. Bring Rahul. He will do audit. Bring a chartered accountant. He will do audit of our firm. And then you check whether we are manipulating or defalcating or not. So will it be able to settle this dispute? Yes. So when I say dispute, it helps to settle 3 disputes. Come on, which 3? Tax dispute, trade dispute, partnership dispute. By the way, although I am telling you this in one only, these are 3 different advantages. This is to be written separately, this to be written separately, this to be written separately. I am telling you like this. Why? Because it is simpler to learn, because everything has nothing but a common ground, which is settling the disputes. All cools? All cools. And the last one, sometimes the government, when they issue licenses for some business, they will always rely on audited financial statements. They will not even consider unaudited financial statements. I will give you a very simple example to understand. Say for a simple example, they want to issue a new telecom license, 5G. Okay, spectrum. Now if they want to issue that 5G license, can I say obviously they will invite tenders. Okay, can I say they will check the financial position of that company, whether they are worth giving that particular tender or not, whether they are particularly to be given that contract or not. So if they want to give the license, obviously they'll give license to companies like Reliance, Airtel, Jio. Reliance and Jio one and the same, but still, now use common sense. They will first do homework whether that company is worth to be given that particular license or not. When they are doing that homework, when they are doing that research, and the financial statements which they have, that cannot be unaudited. They will not consider. Only if it's audited, they will consider. Now, do you understand? Huh. So it means what? If the government has to issue license for doing certain business, they will require financial statements to check. But those financial statements should not be unaudited. They will rely only if it is audited. All cool? Come on. So tell me advantages one by one. Firstly, come on, tell there. It's okay. Even I'm here talking alone only. You also talk alone. It's fine. It's good sometimes. Yeah. Firstly, it correct safeguards the financial interest basically of the shareholders. Okay. Next, it comes auditor comes to know whether books of accounts are properly kept or not. It helps to obtain loans because the banks and the financial institutions will prefer which financial statements. Yeah, audited financial statements. Perfect. It helps to find out the wastages and losses. It helps to keep a moral check on the employees. So because of that, the frauds and errors will increase or decrease? Decrease. Asha. Thereafter, it helps to settle the disputes. How many types of disputes here? Three types of disputes. Which ones? Tax dispute, trade dispute, partnership disputes. By the way, is it that audited financial statements invite no dispute? No, they do invite disputes in real life, but obviously it helps to solve if it is audited in the first place. Next, if the government issues licenses, they will rely on which financial statements? Audited financial statements. All cool? All cool. Let us mark this much first from the textbook, then we will do the disadvantages. Is it fine? Come to the textbook. Obviously, when I say textbook, I'm talking about JKSC textbook, assuming it is the same thing only. I have on page number 1, chapter 1, nature, scope, and objective of audit. Come. In that, I want you to come on page 2, where you have auditing definition. Come on. Mark it. Same book only, no? Acha, what do you mean by independent? Should be dependent on the management or not? Not. Correct. Independent is basically under no influence. And obviously this is as per ICI, as you can see. We have not defined by. After this, what do you have? Law. FM. Ah, nice. Capital budgeting. Yeah. IRR. Yeah. I don't know. I just took a wild guess. Yeah. Acha, I want you to read this elaboration part. It is not for learning, but just for reading. Just read. See whether you understand or not. Come on, yeah, manageable. Okay. Not for examination purpose, but then yeah, it was there, so I had to tell you. I want you to come to advantages. Come on page number 4. You'll find advantages of audit. Yeah, market important comes in the examination. Come on, read. See, whatever I've underlined is what you are supposedly to underline here, obviously in the textbook, more so in the exam. You have to underline this in the exam as well. So you have to attract the examiner by your answer, no? You cannot give him a chance to read your entire answer, because more he reads, the lesser you get. The lesser he reads, chances the more you get. So basically, I hope as you have to highlight the answer. Okay, so underline them, whatever are important words. Underline with the same pen, or better, what you can do is you can do it on the pencil also. You can do it with that. If it is on page 6, page 6, yeah, I don't care the page number. Just come to advantages. Why are they giving me this book then? So rude, yeah. I miss Annapurna, yeah. In Coimbatore. Oh, yeah. What sambar they make, yeah. Ooh la la. Hmm. Then this part also. Next slide is there. This is the entire thing. There are in total 9 advantages, as you can see. Hello. Although after the 9 advantages, if you just see now, what I have done is I have tick marked 6 of them. If you just see properly, why have I done that? Because normally they ask this for 4 to 5 marks, and you are expected to write 6 points of them. Okay. Now those 6, the best 6 as per me, whatever is there, I have selected. Supposing as per you, it may be different. That is fine. That is your choice. But the 6 that I remember normally are these 6. You should take settling 3. No, 3 the advantages of settling only. See now, this is settling dispute. Then there was this settlement of accounts, which is again settling dispute only, settlement of accounts. And there is this dispute, which is tax dispute. अरे कितना नींद you are getting. मेरे को भी आ रहा है, तुमको देख के और आता है क्या नहीं. Come on यार दानिया. Okay, shall I go ahead? Okay, listen. Hey, let us go ahead. The next part that we have after this disadvantages and inherent limitations, we'll take a short break. After that short break, like 5 odd minutes for upload, download, whatever you want to do in that particular time. Upload, download, whatever I mean, yeah. And then we'll get back again. After that, we have 2 questions to go. One is a big question, but interesting one. And the second one is okay, relatively small. Okay, listen. Next is disadvantages, which is also known as inherent limitations of auditing. Okay. Now, inherent limitations, I already told you, inbuilt. Inbuilt means unavoidable. Now, how many are there? 4 are there. Let us first see those 4, then I'll explain you in detail one by one. Focus on, these are really interesting and important more. First one, nature of financial reporting. Now, when I say financial reporting, in short, I will tell FR. FR means financial reporting. Okay. Now, what is financial reporting? It means accounts. Now, you people are at Inter CA. If and when you will reach final CA, at that level now, you again have the subject of accounts. But there it is not known as accounts. There it is known as financial reporting, FR. So when I say FR, FR means nothing but accounts. Okay. So first is nothing but nature of financial reporting. Second, nature of audit procedures. Third, cost benefit analysis. And last, timeliness of financial reporting, FR. Now let us understand in detail one by one. First is nature of the financial reporting. Now focus on. Now when I say nature of the financial reporting, to understand that we have to come here. Now, what had I told you during this process of auditing, that the main job for an auditor, can I say, is just to give an opinion? That is his main job, to give an opinion. Agreed? Okay, now listen carefully. When I say the auditor has to give an opinion, can I say for the opinion, he should have a lot of information? Without information, can you give an opinion? No. For a simple example, if I want to give an opinion about a particular restaurant, I can give an opinion only if I have information about that restaurant or I've gone to that tasting myself. Then use common sense. It means if I want to give an opinion on anything or anybody, obviously what I require is information. Agreed? This information in auditing language is known as audit evidence. What? Audit evidence. Say, it is just a fancy name. There's nothing great about it. Whether you say audit evidence or whether you say information, the meaning is one and the same. Absolutely the same. Okay. If you write information, you are writing English language. If you write audit evidence, you are writing auditing in English language. So there is a difference. See, why do people lose marks in auditing subject or any theory paper? Because they don't know the wordings that they have to write properly. If you write information, you will not get that marks. But if you write audit evidence, definitely you will get those marks. So that is the difference. So focus on the language also. Okay. Obviously not entirely the language of law, but some language has to be different. So we don't write information. Instead of information, what do we write? Audit evidence. Now hear carefully. This audit evidence that we are talking about is basically of two types. One, persuasive. Oh, English. Second, conclusive. Oh, more English. Repeating. One, persuasive. Second, conclusive. Now, what do you mean by persuasive? Listen carefully. Persuasive means it seems correct. It seems correct, but I don't have 100% surety that it is correct. It means I have doubts. So any information which is basically doubtful is known as persuasive. Now, what do you mean by conclusive? As the name suggests, conclusive evidence. I know this. It means there's doubtful or no doubts. No doubts. Okay. Let us take example to understand. Okay. First, doubtful information, persuasive. Listen carefully. Say I am auditor of X Limited. Okay. And I'm checking their P&L, income expense. Now on the expense side, they have written traveling expense, 50,000 rupees. Now, can you tell me who has written this? Management. Okay. I am auditor. So obviously I have to check whether it is correct or not. Can I say if they have written something, can I say there has to be some supporting evidence? Come on, yeah. For a simple example, if you're talking about traveling expense, can I say supporting evidence will be tickets, boarding pass, some bills if you have stayed somewhere? So what does that mean? Can I say there has to be some supporting evidence? Say there is no supporting evidence. So if there is no supporting evidence, you cannot tell it is wrong. Huh? Wait, you have to inquire first. So I asked to the management to give me an explanation that tell me what is this traveling expense 50,000? Where have you incurred? So I asked to the management, batao, where have you incurred this 50,000 rupees? So management told, we have incurred on traveling. I told, I know, I want proof. I don't have evidence. So management is giving explanation. Here to their explanation, huh? Sir, in order to do business, sir, We people were obviously loading the goods and unloading the goods to the buyer's place in auto rickshaw, sir. So we people used to load the goods in the rickshaw, go and unload the goods and come back in that rickshaw only. Now, my simple question to you, if you do that, will you incur expense? Yes. Acha. Does rickshaw wala give you the bill? No. So do you have evidence? No. Does that mean it has not happened? It may have happened. No. They may have loaded the goods on a rickshaw and they may have gone. I mean, there can be a daily business also where you can go in the rickshaw. For a simple example, when I did not have a car, I used to go to the branch. I used to go in rickshaws only. So that was my business expense only. Do you agree? But use common sense. Can it be wrong also? Yeah. There is a chance that ultimately this 50,000 they may have defalcated. What do you know? They may have included this so that they reduce their tax liability, because more the expense, less the profit, less the profit, less the tax. Come on, yeah. So my simple question, does it seem correct what they are telling? Yes. But do you have 100% guarantee it is correct? No. Then that becomes persuasive. Now do you understand? Okay. Same example, but a different thing. Same 50,000 traveling. I asked them, give me some evidence. They gave me boarding pass of the flights. Sir, see, we had traveled for business purpose there. We have boarding pass, sir. Use common sense. Can you doubt that now? No. It means, can I say I have conclusive evidence that it is correct? Is this much okay? Okay. So the difference between persuasive and conclusive is doubtful, conclusive is not doubtful. Now the important question, I'm throwing it to you. Think and answer. Okay. Then I'll give you the break after this anyways. Think. What more information you will get in the financial statement? What will be the nature of that information in the financial statements? It will be more persuasive or more conclusive? Think. What will be the nature of the financial statements basically, majorly? Correct. Can I say major information that you will get will be persuasive in nature? It will be less conclusive because they'll definitely do some frauds, but you cannot do anything about it because they will give you such explanations only, which does not make more sense, but you have nothing else to do. Now, do you understand? Acha, see, when the management tells me no, that okay, we have incurred this 50,000 for this business purpose, then my job is basically for once to accept, okay, what you are telling can be correct, until and unless I find something suspicious. Like, for a simple example, say ultimately their sales are 5 lakhs, traveling expenses are somewhere around say 3 lakhs. Now this does not make sense to me. So now this, when it does not make sense to me, I come to know they are definitely trying to do something wrong. Then obviously that depends upon me what judgment I have to give, because opinion I have to give. So ultimately whether to accept their explanation or not is the decision of the auditor. By default he may accept, but I hope as if he finds something suspicious, then he will definitely reject. Is this okay? Okay. See, then what is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is this only. Nature of accounts is that information is persuasive in that. It is not conclusive. But can you do anything about it? No. Why? Because the nature of the accounts is only like that. That major information that you will get is persuasive in nature. Acha. In reality, when I say conclusive also, it is not 100% correct. Acha, I'll tell you two reasons for that. One, there can be fake bills. See, the biggest commodity which is sold in the entire world is bills. Supposing if I put a certain expense, I want a bill. I'll ask somebody, give bill now. He will take a certain percentage of the bill and he'll give me the bill. It's as simple as that. So I have the bill. When it gets audited, bill is there na? Auditor, tick, bye. So ultimately, I hope there is no problems at all. Okay. Second thing, even if the bill is genuine, it can be of not business nature, but personal. I'll give you an example to understand. It is like this. Say I'm the managing director of the company. Okay. Now I went for lunch with my family at a 5-star restaurant. Okay. Like in Chennai, I love the ITC Chola. Oh, beautiful. No, so I went for lunch there. Okay. Very beautiful. So I incurred an expense of say 15,000 rupees for lunch. Okay. After incurring this expenditure, first you tell me, this is what type of expense? It is a personal expense or business? It is a personal expense. So managing director should charge this to the P&L of the company or his P&L? His P&L. But he charged it to the P&L of the company. And you know what he wrote? What he wrote in the P&L? To business promotion expense. Oh wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Business promotion. Now, obviously for this 15,000, there will be the bill. Do you agree? Okay. Now I'm auditor, supposing. Okay. Now I'm auditor. I'm asking managing director. Managing director, you went for, what is this? Business promotion 15,000. Can you tell me? He's telling, Arey, sir, we went for lunch. I was like, you went with your family. They're like, no, sir. It is a business expense, business promotion. I was like, can you explain how? Arey, sir, we had prospective clients. And prospective clients, we people want to talk business. So we took them on a business lunch. My simple question, can I say in reality, there are something like business lunches, business dinners, business suppers, business tea? It happens. So my simple question to you, can I say definitely what they are telling is acceptable? Can I say there is a bill also? So can I say it is conclusive also? But in reality, it is wrong. See, so what I'm trying to tell you is, just when you find conclusive information, don't feel that every conclusive information is also 100% correct. It can be wrong like this also. Firstly, there can be fake bills. Secondly, even if the bills are genuine, what they are telling is fake. Is this okay? By the way, is the auditor going to do something of this? No, he's not bothered. See, only if he finds something suspicious, he will do something like that. Else, every financial statements are cooked. You understand? Cooked, manipulated. All cool? All cool. Okay. Legal fraud, huh? Legally, huh? Okay. So first was nature of financial reporting. Second one, nature of audit procedures. Now, what do you mean by that? This is simpler. Okay. Major explanation was this only, which I wanted you to understand. Now, when you talk about nature of audit procedures, unfortunately, auditor is not allowed to check everything. The law has basically cut his wings. I will just give you one example. You'll understand what I'm telling. It is given in company law that auditor is allowed only to attend general meetings of the company. He is not allowed to attend board meetings of the company. Repeating, auditor is allowed to attend general meetings. He is not allowed to attend board meetings. Now, my simple question, general meeting is the meeting of shareholder here. Shareholder himself is not interested in that meeting. He comes there only for breakfast and get lost. As simple as that. He is not interested in what ultimately the chairman is telling. Acha. Now I have to attend that meeting. I will also be interested only in breakfast only, no then. Acha. Now think and tell, if the management is committing a fraud, they will commit in a general meeting. They will tell to the shareholders only, shareholders, we are going to play with your money. Want to play? No. Then use common sense. They will do that in the board meeting only, no? Behind closed doors. So actually, if you want to give me the right to catch a fraud, then it should be to allow me to attend general meetings or board meetings. Board meetings, but they are allowing general meeting. But can I do anything about it? No. Why? Because no, law is only like that. So the nature is only like that. I cannot perform every procedure. I have to restrict my procedure. That is the meaning of nature of audit procedures. Now do you understand? Okay. Next one, cost benefit analysis. Now this also is simple, but listen. Where will I write? Pages, exhausted. Row. Where? I don't know. Arey yaar. Now I am also having some inherent limitation. Anyways, I'll take some last page. It's okay, it's fine. Acha, when you talk about cost benefit analysis, listen, will the auditor do work for free? No, yeah. Can I say definitely auditor will charge fees? If you people appreciate this fees when I tell, can I say this is benefit to the auditor? But when he is getting that fees, he has to incur some expense also. Then this expense will become the cost. Acha, which expense? Let me give you a simple example. Can I say auditor will have assistants? Can I say to assistants you have to give stipend? Do you agree? Acha, can I say he may have certain employees which will work on audit? No, auditor will alone not do audit. There'll be some people along with him. No, can I say to this employees he will have to give salary? Then can I say he has to incur all these expenses? One more, auditor can use the help of an expert. Expert. What do you mean by that? Take an example, yeah. Say I am auditor of X Limited. X best. The only good thing that I like about maths is X. Anyways, so say X Limited. Okay. Apart from that, I don't know too much maths. It's okay. Still, I'm a chartered accountant. and practicing one also. Yeah, you're looking at one. Yeah. Now listen. Say excellent. Okay. Now I forgot the example also. Yeah. Say in the balance sheet on the asset side. Say they have land and building. Say 400 crores. Oh my God. Wow. Now I'm auditor. Do I have to check the value also, whether the value is correct or not? Obviously, they can write anything. I have to check whether it is correct or not, genuine or not. Now, supposing say I'm auditor and there is land and building, I will stand like this and I will see the land and building and I'll come to know whether it is of 400 crores or not. Land and building will talk to me? No. So can I say, obviously, I have to find out the value. Now, I am auditor. I'm not valuer. I don't know valuation. So can I say I will go to a registered valuer? There are valuers. Hello. So I'll go to a valuer and I'll tell to the valuer, value. Can you help me? Then valuer will ask me for some information. Tell me where is the land and building situated? What is the area of the land and building? I'll tell you the approximate value. Then the valuer will tell me the approximate value. And then I will come to know whether the value is correct or not. Agreed? This valuer that we are talking about is basically known as an expert. So can I say to this expert, it is not free. Can I say you'll have to use? Correct. Expert, then you'll have to pay fees. Agreed? Then can I say all this is nothing but expense to the auditor? When I say expense, it is cost. Do you agree? Benefit is one only, fees that he gets from the client. Now think and answer. Huh? As a rational human being, so should I count you out? No. Okay. As a rational human being, think and tell me, you want to increase benefit or you want to increase cost? Correct. You want to increase benefit. But that can happen only by reducing the cost. If I want to increase this, that remaining the same, if this becomes less, this becomes more, no? Common sense. Hello? Then use common sense. Say, supposing I don't take this because this is dependent on me, how much expense I want to incur. Say I don't do this. So can I say, obviously my fees will be lesser. So obviously my benefit will be more. Hello? But I hope you realize if you are doing this, at the end auditing will suffer, no? Because you will not get a proper value to the land and building. It means you are relying on something which may be incorrect also. But why are you doing this? Why is your auditing suffering? Because of cost benefit analysis. You want to increase your benefit, but that is at the cost of information, because the information which you want to obtain, in my example, the value is too expensive for you. So sometimes the auditor will do cost benefit analysis. This information, if I obtain, it is too expensive, so I don't want to obtain because it is too expensive. My benefit will decrease. But if you do that, then eventually auditing will only suffer, no? Because the value may not be correct. Now do you understand? So that is the meaning of basically cost benefit analysis. All cool? See, in everything, auditing is only suffering. Hello? You get persuasive information. You cannot rely. Auditing is suffering. Auditor is not allowed to check everything. Auditing is suffering. Auditor will do cost benefit analysis. Auditing is suffering. Everywhere auditing will only suffer. That is the meaning of it. There are limitations of auditing. All cool? Okay. And the last one, timeliness of financial reporting. Now, what is this? Timeliness of financial reporting. It is very simple also. Does the auditor have a lifetime to do audit? One audit. Supposing if I have audit of X, do I have lifetime? No. Can I say I have to finish the audit on time? Hello. Just to give you a timeline, 31st of March is where the year ends. Okay. Till 30th September, everything should be done. When I say everything should be done, after 31st of March, whatever is that period, they have to first finalize the financial statements for that period. So they have to close the financial statements. That takes time. After they close the financial statements, auditor will come. He will do auditing of that financial statements. After he does audit, he has to then report on that particular financial statements. And then obviously those financial statements have to be filed with the ROC. And this has to be done from 31st of March till 30th of September in a span of 6 months. Now use common sense. Yeah. Auditor obviously has to do audit in that period. Basically, think and answer. Huh? He will have only one client or he will have many clients. Hopefully, if you have many clients, think no. If you have so many clients in 6 months, how much can he check? Can I say there is a limitation to checking? So think and answer. If he has some big clients also, will he be able to check 100% transactions? No. And therefore he will check 100% or less than that. Less than that. That less than that is known as sampling. I hope you know, yeah. What is sampling? This is your total population, total transaction. He will not check everything. He will only check, say, supposing this much sample. So this part he will not check. And then he will give an opinion. Agreed? Now my simple question, why is he doing this? Because there is a limitation of time. Correct. Now think, is he checking everything? No. Is he missing something? Oh, yes. But if he's missing something, auditing is not 100%. No. See, it means you're missing out something, then you're missing on some frauds also. No. So that is risky. No. Even if there are frauds, you're not telling to the shareholders because eventually you're not checking them only. How are you going to tell? It means, why are you doing this? Because there is a limitation of time. So what does timeliness of financial reporting basically mean? Very simple. Timeliness of financial reporting means that auditor does not have too much time to do the entire audit. So auditor does not check 100% of the transactions. He resorts to something known as sampling. But when he does sampling, there is always a risk that something is going to miss only. But if something will miss, it is not found out. So it is nothing but limitation. All cool? All cool. So how many are there? Come on, tell me. 4. Come on. First is nature of financial reporting, nature of audit procedures, cost benefit analysis, and timeliness of financial reporting. All cool? All cool. Acha. There is a way to remember this. See, what I will do is during the course of the subject of auditing, it is theoretical. Yeah. I mean, obviously, so you have to remember a lot. I will make certain keys and give. Okay. Keys are basically nonsensical. Obviously, here it is sensical because this is a simple key, but there are some nonsensical keys also which will come, some idioms. Why? Because those make your job a bit simpler to learn theory. Else, how much will you remember? Yeah, theoretical is so much. Yeah. So some nonsense. Okay. Here it is not that nonsensical, but yeah, it will start from the next key that I give. The key is there is a limitation. It is a fact. Fact is the key. Now, how do you remember that? F stands for financial reporting, A. A stands for this audit procedure. C stands for cost benefit analysis. And T stands for timeliness. So, is there inherent limitations of auditing? Yes, it is a fact. This is how we remember. See, wait, I'll make you write also. Listen. In the examination, listen, in the examination, supposing, obviously paper pattern, I'll tell you later. Say there is question 5, A, B. This is the question paper which you got, supposing. Okay. And in question B, there is inherent limitations of auditing for 5 marks. When you get the question paper and you see question 5B is inherent limitations, with the pencil, you know what you should do? Towards this, you have to write down like this fact. Finished. So that, I hope realize I have still not started solving my paper. I just got the question paper. After getting the question paper, firstly, do you know that your exams are normally 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., 2 to 5. That is your examination time. Okay. You people get the question paper at 1:45 p.m. This is when you are given the question paper. Why? Because they want you to make strategy, because they think that you are capable to make a strategy. So that is why they give you in the first place. They never gave us because they think that we were dumb enough to not make strategies. So rude, yeah. So you're getting 15 minutes to do that. Okay. Now, 2 p.m. is when you can start writing. And 5 p.m. obviously tends. In this 15 minutes time, obviously you have to make a strategy in the head. What you are going to solve first, what you are going to solve next. Correct? You are not allowed to write anything on the question paper, but that is legally. What you should do is, obviously, you just write down this fact. Now, you're not writing entire anything. You just write down fact. And what you should do is, supposing say there is question 4, there is question 6, you write question 6 more. Then with pencil, at least write down, this is one that you are going to solve. This is the second thing that you are going to solve. So this is the third thing that you are going to solve, like that. But this fact you write down with pencil, and you write down, I hope it is not very attractive so that examiner also can see. Write in a manner that ultimately it is not seen too much. Okay. Attract where it is required to be attracted, not everywhere. Because it is not allowed. Then why am I telling you? Because it is to be done. Yeah, you have to do it. Yeah. Did I do? Yes. Hence I'm telling also. They to keep telling no, yeah. See, supposing they told no, okay, don't write anything. You're like, okay, will not write. And they found out. Let's take the worst case scenario. They found out that you are writing. Then what you should tell? Oh, sorry. Oh, I did not know. Finished. They're not going to remove you, expel you from first time. Hello. They will give you warning. Don't write again. Surely. And they will tell you to erase it. You erase it. You erase also in such a manner that you can write it again. It's okay. They are not going to remove you. Trust me. Don't copy. I'm not talking about copying. I'm talking about your damn shit paper only. Your paper, not anybody else's paper. Your paper, you can write anything you want now. Write it. Acha, this is how you have to do it. All cool? Acha. Wait, come to the textbook. First let us mark, then I'll tell you what to do of the key. See, it is above advantages only. Inherent limitations of auditing. Come on, mark it, write it, underline it. Uh, I still have those question papers where I have written everything. In fact, I was so dumb that I wrote it with pen. In fact, I was so dumb I wrote my entire answers with ink pen because I used to write with ink pens in standard 4 of my school. So I had the habit of writing with that ink pen. I still have that pen with me if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I've kept that pen. Yeah, it's a lucky pen. At least made me a chartered accountant. Haan na. Yeah, I kept it. See this pen. See, I still have. See, ink pen. See, still there. So yeah, I mean, see, it is not allowed to be writing with ink pen. But then see, I still am a chartered accountant writing with the ink pen. Who the hell cares with what pen you have written till the time that ultimately your answers are decent? Obviously, there was a risk, yeah. Hero pen, yeah. There was a risk that ultimately, if any water falls on that, then I'm gone. But then I mean that is very less chance of a risk, yeah. I mean inherent limitations of auditing are more riskier than that. Yeah, I to wrote. My handwriting used to come very decent with that pen, so I used to write. I mean, it comes with the next pen also. My handwriting are nice, okay? Don't be rude. So rude, yeah. Na. Yeah, all my exams I wrote. A CPT, it was there. I mean, that when I was a chartered accountant student, CPT just got introduced. Yeah. I'm like an old chartered accountant as such. You may say so. 10 years have already passed. But then, yeah, that is all it is. Some people are shocked. 10 years, you're a chartered accountant. Yours is inter CA, no? Mine was PCC. They keep on changing this all names and all, yeah. Course remaining the same. Yeah, they keep on changing the names as if I don't know what the hell is changing. Hey, keep it that only, na? Why do you change it in the first place? First it was what it is now. Foundation, inter, and final. That is what it got when CA was introduced. It was like this: foundation, inter, and final. Then it changed. Then foundation suddenly it became PE1, professional education 1, and inter became PE2, professional education 2, and final has always remained final. It has not changed at all. Okay. Thereafter, it became CPT, and then your PE2 became PCC, professional competence course. Final remaining final. Okay, I was a part of that. CPT, PCC, and final CA. Then CPT, then IPCC, Integrated Professional Competence Course. Now I don't know what is the difference between PCC and IPCC. Only difference is I had to attempt that, so it became IPCC maybe. I don't know. All nonsensical things. Yeah, same course. Yeah, same course. Only here and there they do. Like when I was attempting PCC 9, PCC there was one accounts, only one account subject, which basically had nothing but 35 chapters. You have two accounts now in your group 1 and group 2, accounts and advanced accounts. There's nothing advanced about it. Nothing at all advanced. Same accounts only. The only thing is they wanted to give a name, so they gave advanced accounts. In our time, it's not accounts only and same chapters. It was not advanced then. It became advanced now. Nonsense, yeah. Then again it changed, and now it has become what? Now it has become inter CA finally. So CPT gone, foundation, inter, and now final. Final remaining. Don't know what is wrong with them. They think they want to change and adapt with the world. They keep on changing names, but not the course, which is in fact wanting it to be changed. Chumma natak. Come on, yeah, marked, yeah. Come on, yeah, did you read? Hi, I mean, whom will you question? ICI? Then it will remain a question for the entire life. You may get an answer to COVID at the end of the day, but not institute. Definitely. चला जा. All done? Acha, just the last thing, then we take a break. See, now obviously there is only one key which has come, which is fact. But during the course of the subject, there'll be so many keys which may come, okay? Which will also. Now, the problem with the student is they always remember the key because it is nonsensical. They to an extent remember the answer also, but they don't remember the question. For a simple example, when you get a question paper, we have so many questions, no? Now you know the key. Okay, there is a key which is fact, but you should know dash that that fact is for inherent limitations. So whenever you see inherent limitation, you should write fact. You should not write inherent limitation some other key, or you cannot write for other questions fact. So can I say there has to be consensus between the question and the key? So you should not get confused. And for that, what we will do is we will make something known as auditing key chart, which will have three things in it: the question, the key, and the answer. And that key chart is an important, useful tool. I hope as that key chart will help you to memorize, obviously, the answer, more importantly, the key, and most importantly, the question. So you will come to know that for this question, this is the key. So when in the examination that particular question comes in the head, that key should strike you. All cool? All cool. Let's do one thing. Let's make that key chart. How to make that key chart? Preferably, what I used to tell students is, because when they used to travel, etc., I used to tell them that you make the key chart mobile. Mobile in the sense that you take that pin page of yours. In that books, you have that pin page, that middle page, which you can tear it off. Okay, when you require an additional page, you tear it off. That four-sided page, 2 pages, you tear it off. I used to tell them to take that off so that whenever they are traveling, etc., what they can do is they can take it anywhere in the bus, in the rickshaw, in the cab, whatever it is. Ultimately, they can take it and they can read it along because it is like a 5-minute time pass for you to revise. Okay, so basically, I used to tell them, but now I don't know. Travel when, take time. So basically what you can do is you can make it on the last page of your notebooks also, or still if you want to do better is you can make it mobile. You can just take out the pages and you can make auditing key chart. All cool? Whatever it is, do it. Right on. After making this key chart, we'll take some small break. Then 2 questions and then, yeah. Then thanks for coming. On a Sunday and ruining my early morning sleep on a Sunday. Na. Sunday 6:30, yeah? Why, yeah? Why, yeah? Why, yeah? After years, decent sleep came and you're like taking that away also from me. Why? Yeah? Just like you chose started accountancy, I chose teaching, didn't I? Yeah, we both are like in the same boat. I know. That boat is heading nowhere. Like 2 columns, yeah. Left one will be smaller one, right one will be big one. I'm showing you, I'm making for you, yeah. So rude. Matlab, if you want to make it colorful, your wish. Yeah, you can do so. At least something will be colorful in life in this current times. I mean, that is how it is. Yeah, order something from Annapurna, yeah. Written questions, keys and answers. No? Read on one. Inherent limitations of audit. Come on here, Dania. Everybody. Okay then. Boom. We have two questions more to go before the day. Let us take a 5 minute break. That's fine. We'll take 5 minutes and 8, 10, 26 it is. I'll meet you at 8:16 then. Okay, come on. Next part. Listen. Next that we have is nothing but objectives and scope of audit. As the name suggests, objectives and scope of audit. It has two things. One is objective, another is scope. So obviously we'll go one by one. Firstly, what we need to understand is regarding objectives of audit. Okay, that is why audit is done. When you talk about objectives of audit, basically there are two objectives. One, primary, use common sense. Second one, secondary, obviously. Now, this secondary is also known as incidental. What? Incidental is just a fancy name. There is nothing great about it. So whether you say incidental or whether you say secondary, the meaning is one and the same. Now, what is the primary objective? Let us understand. It is to form and express an opinion. Can you tell me he will give an opinion on what? Correct. On the financial statements, whether they are showing a true and fair view or not. Repeating, it is to form and express an opinion on the financial statements, whether they are showing a true and fair view or not. Now, important to understand are two words. One, form. Second, express. So first you have to form an opinion. Obviously, you form an opinion in your head, whether true and fair view is actually there or not. In other words, can I say, when I say to form, it means to conclude. Come on, yeah. How do you express that? Correct. Can I say express that by giving nothing but a report? So obviously, whatever is your expression of opinion, that expression of opinion will happen in the auditor's report. Is this okay? Okay. Think. He has to give an opinion on the financial statements. Financial statements prepared by? Perfect. Management. Correct. And to make these financial statements, management, they set up a system which is known as accounting system. Which system? Accounting system. Again, it is just a fancy name, nothing great about it. What do you mean by accounting system? Come on here, you have heard. In every company, there is an accounts department. Can I say that accounts department makes the financial statements? So that is a system of the company to make the financial statements. And that system is known as which system? Accounting system. So can I say to make the financial statements is the responsibility of the management by setting up which system? Accounting system. All cool? All cool. Next is secondary. In secondary, what do we have? It is basically to detect and prevent frauds and errors. Now, luckily, we people have known what is fraud also, what is error also. Fraud is intentional, error unintentional. So it is the duty of the auditor to detect and prevent frauds and errors. Again, two important words. First, detect. What do you mean by detect? Detect is to find. And what do you mean by prevent? Prevent is to stop. So if you see certain fraud from happening, can I say you can definitely stop it from happening? If it doesn't stop, then obviously impact will be on opinion. But yes, you can definitely stop it. All cool? All cool. Now think and answer. Important. Detect and prevent what? Frauds and errors? This is auditor's secondary objective. This has to be somebody's primary. Whose primary then? If it is secondary objective of the auditor, whose primary objective it is? Correct. Can I say it will be the primary objective of the management to reduce the frauds and errors? Array, mad. If there is certain good, array, some are telling shareholders. Morning tea, morning coffee is awaiting. Can I say eventually I hope realize if there is some fraud which happens in say JK Shah classes, can I say then it is JK Sir's primary duty to find it? Auditors is secondary, primary is of JK Sir, no? So obviously to detect and prevent frauds and errors, primary responsibility of management. And that they will do by setting up one more system, which is there in order to control all the frauds and errors. But this system is internal to the organization. Therefore, it is known as internal control system. What? Internal control system. In short, it is known as ICS. Now, what do you mean by this? Let us take examples to understand. Listen carefully. Say for a simple example, they have CCTV cameras. Why? To watch movie? No. Can I say to keep an eye on the employees so nothing wrong happens? See, ultimately they have given identity cards to every employees. Why? So that outsider does not come. Say they have security guards outside, so they only allow who is ultimately belonging to the organization or who has appointment letters. Or say ultimately important one, authorization. For a simple example, you have heard now there is somebody known as purchase manager. Now I hope is when there is a purchase manager, only he can order raw materials from the suppliers. Can anybody else order? No. Why? Because there is nothing but authorization. If everybody orders, I hope that there'll be more frauds. So there has to be authorization. Then that authorization, why do you do? To reduce frauds. So that authorization is a part of internal control system. Now do you understand? So basically, having CCTVs, having authorization, having approvals. Obviously, approvals are required because without approval, if you do any expense, there'll be frauds only. Okay. So my simple question, management sets up how many systems in totality? 2 systems. 1, accounting system. 2, internal control system. Why accounting system? It is nothing but to make the financial statements. Why internal control system? It is there in order to detect and prevent frauds and errors. All cool? Now think and answer. Both the systems are made by the management. Acha. Implemented by management. Acha. Maintained by management. Checked by auditor. Whether the system is there or not. Whether it is working or not. Whether it is in effect or not. Whether it is continuous or not. So everything done by management. Checked by auditor. Perfect. Then I'll make one more statement. Auditor is there to do nothing. He's there to check everything. What? Auditor is there to do nothing. He's there to check everything. Everything done by management, checked by auditor. Therefore, there is one famous saying on an auditor. I don't know how many of you have heard it. Auditor is a watchdog. I don't know how many of you know, and not a bloodhound. Repeating, auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. Now, what do you mean by this? Watchdog and bloodhound are two different type of dog categories. Now, as the name suggests, bloodhound. Who is a bloodhound? As the name suggests, thirsty for blood. So he will do hunting. Correct. But when you talk about watchdog, can I say he does not do hunting? He only keeps an eye. Auditor is this category only. Why? Because auditor has to just keep an eye. Because everything done by management, checked by auditor. So auditor is there to check, not to do anything. All cool? All cool. Acha, just asking a simple doubt to you. Think and answer. Supposing say auditor is auditing, he's going to check everything or he will do sampling? Sampling. So will there be something missed out? Yes, definitely. Okay. So auditor has given opinion that financial statements are not showing a true and fair view. Repeating, so auditor has given opinion that financial statements are not showing a true and fair view. Okay. Who will get angry on this report? Definitely. See, shareholders, okay. But firstly, who will get angry is management. Because auditor is reporting non-doing of the management to the shareholders. So management will get very angry. Checked everything properly. Rude. So they will get very angry. Now, since management got very angry, management, they filed a case against auditor. Management filed a case against auditor that auditor was negligent. You understand? Negligent. Careless. He did not do audit properly, so he has given this wrong report. Can you tell me, will the auditor be proved guilty? Only if it is proved that he was negligent. If he proves that he had done audit properly, will he be held responsible? No. Who will be held responsible always? Management. So for these frauds and errors, by default, who is responsible? Management. Can the auditor be responsible? Yes. If he is proved negligent. Until unless he is proved negligent, he is not responsible. All cool? All cool. See, so firstly, what we have already discussed are objectives. Now we need to discuss scope, which is the second part. Hear carefully. And this also is simple. When you talk about scope of auditing, what do you mean by scope? Scope basically means coverage. It means, I hope, is how much areas to cover, the extent of audit, how much to audit. Okay, you can say extent also. That also is a nice meaning. What we are discussing is not the areas that you have to cover, because that is the next question. The areas which he has to check. What we are discussing is this scope Depends on which factors is what we are discussing. How will the scope be decided? Okay. Now, scope basically depends on three factors. Which three factors? One by one. Firstly, terms of engagement. Now, doubt. What do you mean by terms of engagement? Let us understand in detail. It is the terms and conditions. Acha, entered between who and who? Entered between the management and auditor. Why? So that there is no misunderstanding. Why? I'll give you a simple example. Hear carefully. Huh? Will auditor do audit directly? No. Arey, he should get audit. No. Can I say to get audit? Firstly, there will be a meeting. Can I say management will approach the auditor? Auditor, audit. Then obviously in the meeting, they will decide, no? Acha. Say ultimately there is company X Limited who basically wants to do audit. So management will approach auditor. Now say X Limited has head office and 10 branches. Okay. Now say there is Mr. R, chartered accountant. Is he qualified? I just told chartered accountant. Is he qualified? Yes. Why? By default, we always assume it is a practicing chartered accountant. Do you agree? All cools. Okay. Now, management came to Mr. R. Management of which company? X Limited, which has head office and 10 branches. Okay. Management came to Mr. R, told to Mr. R, Mr. R, audit. Will Mr. R do free? No. Can I say Mr. R will charge money? Yes. Say he quoted a fee of rupees 2 crores, which is my next objective. But let's see when it gets satisfied. Okay. So I told 2 crores. They accepted. Oh, yes, no problem. Accepted 2 crores. Now, misunderstanding C. Mr. R, auditor, is thinking he will get 2 crores from the management only to audit head office. Management is thinking they have agreed to 2 crores to pay to Mr. R not only for audit of head office, but also all the branches. Now, my simple question, is there a misunderstanding? Yes. Now, to avoid this misunderstanding, can I say there should be a meeting? Can I say they should fix the terms and conditions? That also should be in oral or in writing? In writing. Correct. So how much to audit? Head office, branch, or both? Depends. Can I say that depends upon whatever you fix in that meeting? So what should be your scope? Can I say depends on the terms of engagement? Come on, yeah. This terms of engagement is known as terms and conditions. But in auditing language, we use terms of engagement. All cool? All cool. Achha. Secondly, your scope depends on requirements of law. So simple, yeah. If law tells you to check something, you have to check that, no, yeah. For a simple example, I hope Price Companies Act 2013, they tell that, okay, auditor has a right to attend general meeting. So can I say you'll have to attend general meeting? Okay. And the last part, it depends on the almighty institute. Can I say depends on I say? Yeah. For a simple example, just to tell you, there are standards on auditing issued by ICI, known as SA. Just like you people are aware, there are accounting standards. Similarly, in auditing, there are auditing standards, which we'll take up separately. Okay. Now, when you talk about that, they told that you have to follow the standard on auditing when you do auditing. So can I say this also you have to check? Why? Because it depends upon ICI. So your scope in all depends on how many factors? 3 factors. Which 3 factors? Terms of engagement, requirements of law, and lastly, ICAI. All cool? So this is regarding scope. This is regarding your objectives. All manageable? Okay, come to the textbook, please. Let us do scope and objective. Page number 2 then. I have on page number 2. I don't know your page number now. Huh? Let us not debate on that. You just find it wherever it is. This is what I want, objectives. See, here it is objective. This is primary, this is secondary. But before that, there are these points which are there. This points number 2.1 to 2.5. These are principles on which objective is based. That also you read, you'll understand. Trust me, because I've already explained those. Come on, read everything, mark everything. Reading is important, please. Hungry, yeah. Done, yeah. Okay. See, then there is scope of audit. Okay. That also I wanted to read till here. Acha, by the way, supposing if I tell you like this, listen no. In terms of engagement, management told the auditor don't check the financial statements, don't check the books of accounts. Okay, supposing I say hypothetical, and say auditor agreed. Okay, okay, no problem. I will not check everything. I'll check only something. And law tells auditor to have access to the books of accounts. So you tell me whatever you have decided in the terms that auditor should not check this. Will that hold good? No. Why? Because I hope as law always supersedes what is terms of engagement. So whatever nonsense you have decided in terms of engagement, if it is not as per law, it will not hold true because law will always supersede terms of engagement. And obviously you are only expected to do what is there in terms. Huh? If you have decided you will only check HO, you will only check HO. Then you don't have to check branches. Come on, finish it. There is a supporting case law which is there, but that is only for reading purposes. Okay. You don't have to remember it. Yeah. Offer, yeah, at least offer. So rude, yeah. ऑफर तो कर ही सकती है हाँ ना come on, you're all dance. No, done. Shall I go ahead to the next one then? Okay, come on. Acha, next one obviously to an extent is related to this. Related with respect to, I told you that scope depends on what we have to decide that. But scope means what areas he has to check. That is the next one. See, known as principal aspects to be covered in audit or the areas to check before forming an opinion. This is one of the important questions that we have in auditing. It comes in the examination for 6 to 8 marks normally. And this answer does not hold only good for this question. There are other questions also for which you can write this same answer, which I will tell you later as well. Okay. So this answer definitely holds too much importance. Okay. Aspects means basically areas. What all auditor has to check. And obviously has to check this before forming an opinion so that he can form an opinion. Okay. Now just focus, you will learn. Okay. What the auditor basically has to check is financial statements. But these financial statements are prepared by management. But can I say management makes the financial statements by setting up which system? Accounting system. This is not standard accounting system. Whenever I write AS in auditing, it is accounting system. If I want to tell accounting standards, I'll tell you separately. Okay. Achha. But can I say in this accounting system also there can be frauds? For that, there is which system? Correct. ICS. It means, can I say, firstly, the auditor has to check the AS and ICS, whether the systems are properly maintained or not. After that, what he will check is the financial statements. Simple classification of financial statements, can I say, is P&L, balance sheet. Agreed? Some are telling us cash flow also. Cash flow will come from P&L balance sheet, no? But basically it is P&L balance sheet. Can I say P&L is revenue in nature? Balance sheet is capital in nature. Perfect. So basically auditor will check whether proper distinction is made or not, classification is made or not between revenue and capital. Now, can I say when you talk about P&L, it is incomes and expenses. When you talk about balance sheet, it is assets and liabilities. So auditor will check whatever amounts are written, whether they are correct or not. In other words, what the auditor has to check here is nothing but the accuracy. In other words, if you tell, it is known as arithmetical accuracy, whether the numbers written are correct or not. For a simple example, if it is 360 expense, it should be 360. It should not be 630. Then that is not proper. So he has to check arithmetical accuracy of P&L. When you talk about balance sheet, can I say you will have to check the valuation of assets and liabilities? Think and answer. They should be overvalued. No. They should be undervalued. No. They should be properly valued. Yes. I gave you example also now of a valuer expert. So basically, I hope you'll have to check the valuation, whether it is correctly done or not. Always remember one thing. Huh? Don't use the word valuation for P&L and don't use the word accuracy for balance sheet. Accuracy is for P&L, valuation is for balance sheet. You remember like BV, this BV, book value, no? Balance sheet value. So basically, I hope it is never be wrong. Okay. Balance sheet, valuation, because assets and liabilities are value. That is not accuracy. But incomes and expenses should be accurately written. So that is accuracy. All cool? All cool. Next. Can I say financial statements are made up of transactions? Come on, yeah. Achha. Then auditor has to check whether the transactions are valid and authentic. Now, what do you mean by valid? Valid means it should be for business purpose and not personal. I already gave you one example. I hope as managing director went for ITC Cholamandalam for nothing but lunch, family. So ultimately, I hope realize. But I hope as even if it is personal, it is shown as business. So at the end, that fraud is also going to hold good only. But yes, to the extent possible, I have to check that transaction should be valid and authentic. What do you mean by authentic? It should be real and not fake. It means that traveling expense example I gave 50,000. It can be fake also, no? I have to have some bills, some supporting. So auditor should check whether the transaction is valid and authentic. Next, when you make financial statements, can you make financial statements as you like? Or there is a law? There is a law. For a simple example, I hope for companies, there is Companies Act 2013. If you already know, there is Schedule 3 of the Companies Act. So basically, can I say that is a requirement of law? That requirement is basically statutes requirement. So they are known as which requirements? Statutory requirement. So auditor has to check whether statutory requirements are followed or not. Next, can I say at the end of the year, P&L will either give profit or give loss? Can I say whether it is profit or whether it is loss? In one word, it is results. So ultimately, auditor has to check whether these results are true and fair. Now let me ask you, why am I using the words true and fair? First question, is there a difference between true and fair and true and correct? Think. Is there a difference? There is. Correct. True and correct is separate. True and fair is separate. Why am I telling true and fair and not true and correct? Can you think? What may be the reason for that? Why true and fair, fair I'm telling? Why not correct? Come on, yeah, you already know the answer. Come on, anybody? Biasness? Not really. Why true and fair? True and fair may be substance or form. Don't give me accounting standards at this point of time. Estimation, reasonable. No. Loss hiding. Oh. No. Reasonable, justification. Reasonable is correct, but I am asking why it is reasonable. Fair fall for all the correct records. No. Window dressing is true, but not fair. Sure, no. I have not had my morning tea still. Huh? No. Correct. Because the information is persuasive and not conclusive. Are you know the answer, yeah. See, management told me 50,000, sir. We went in auto rickshaw, loaded, etc. What did I tell you then? This seems correct. But I hope realize it can be wrong also. Now you don't know whether it is correct or wrong. Then you take a midline. That midline is fairness. So basically, I hope as I cannot comment whether it is correct or wrong. Then I'll tell, okay, it is fair. It may be reasonably okay. So basically, why do I use true and fair and not true and correct? Because if it was conclusive, no, then I would have told true and correct. But it is not conclusive, it is persuasive. Now do you understand? Acha. Now, my simple question. All of this, whatever I told you, at the end, can I say auditor has to do the reporting? Can I say has to do the reporting to the appropriate authority? Shareholder for a company, trustees for a trust, cooperative society, then members. So all this the auditor has to do reporting. So these are the areas that the auditor has to check whether they are proper or not. So what all is there? Let us see. Come on, whatever I have circled is what is your answer. Auditor has to check the AS and ICS. He has to check arithmetical accuracy of the PNL. He has to check the valuation of the assets and liabilities, whether they are correct or not. He has to check whether the transactions are valid and whether they are authentic. Valid business and not personal, authentic real and not fake. Then he will check whether statutory requirements are followed or not. Then he will check whether the results shown by the PNL are true and fair, because PNL will show profit or loss. Then obviously he will do the reporting to the appropriate authority. And obviously when you talk about management, you are going to check the procedures which are performed by management, whether the procedures performed by them are proper or not. All cool? Okay, come on, textbook please. One of the important answers that we have, and it is on page number what you have. This is what is the answer. Come on, mark it, read it. I wanted a key for this also. I have not made one of the important answers that I have. Let's see if I can do that something. To make keys, I mean, you require a bit of a nonsensical brain to work in the wrong direction. Exactly that you have. Correct. So what I'm also insisting is you also can try to make a key for this answer. Matlab when it was like offline classes, etc., I used to ask students to one odd answer. I used to always tell them, try to make the key, etc. If you succeed, I'll give you a silk. That is what I used to do when it was offline classes. Yeah, but unfortunately, it is online now. I can still send you the silk, I think. Yeah, but then there is too much of confidential information which we'll have to disclose. But then that is okay. Yeah, professionalism exists. Yeah, I'll not pay TM. Some people are having nicely their coffee and they're relaxing and they're having a look at the lecture. So nice, yeah. Yeah, never used to happen in that offline classes. Yeah, never used to have coffee like that. Yeah, in front of me. Yeah, at least offer no once. I told you I have not had my morning, and you're not offering also. So rude, yeah. How can you eat and drink like that, yeah? When the person is already sleepy, eaty, drinky, everything, yeah. What is there for breakfast, yeah? Idli, yeah. Sambara. Idli vada. There's no sambar, there is sambara. Yeah. When you go south, it is always like that. Sambara. Left, right, I don't know what is with this, that is cute. Ah, ah. I've always heard it is never like that. You have experience now? You want more sambar? No. You want more sambara? Fancy. More tasty also, obviously. Laksha, I can tell you that later, no problems. I'll do that. When that happened, I was in that same company. PwC did that now. Satyam fraud. He's asking for Satyam fraud. PwC did that now. I was working as an employee in PwC then only, after chartered accountancy. Yeah. Confidentiality. I'll not tell. I can tell now, yeah, because I don't work for them anymore. Green color, what I have written is real and not fake. And this is business and not personal. Actually, that day this pen was not working properly because the software was like that. Now it is working. So this is business and not personal. That is what is that meaning. And here it is ownership. Title means ownership. So try to find the key today. Okay, Sunday anyways. What are you going to do after 1 p.m.? Yeah. I have a second lecture 2 to 5. Yeah. No morning in the sleep, no morning in the afternoon. Kill him. Very good, yeah. Some people finish their coffee. Yeah. Oh, you all have test tomorrow. Which test, yeah? Indirect tax. Yeah. Oh, direct tax only. You know how much I got in direct tax in exam? 40 in interview. Come on, you're done. For the record, what is green color? Green color is basically the pen with which auditing is done traditionally. Like if you want to do audit now, you do it with green color. You'll have files, etc. You have to check everything, right? So basically what you do is you do like this, the ulta tick. This is what was traditionally done. See, this was not correct, but it was followed. You don't do ulta tick now. Normally you do tick like this. But when it started, auditing started, then some random person, what he did was he kept on doing this ulta tick. So then it became a traditional to do ulta tick. Huh. So then it became continuous that, okay, this is how it is. But that is not how it was. Like reserves and surplus. I mean, this is wrong. It is not reserves and surplus. It is reserves or surplus because both of them mean the same thing. But traditionally, it was always written reserves and surplus. So then we people kept on following the same thing. Why? Because it seems to be correct. Parents, they feel it is right. Why? Traditionally. But it may not be correct in the first place when you think it. It is like that only. So similarly, I hope it's green. That is why you have that in that CA logo, no? This ulta take. That is how it goes, no? That is that. Linking. Now shut up and write it. Done. Okay. Come on. Reporting to the appropriate person, that depends, no? Yeah, I already told you. Are baba, if it is company, then shareholder. If it is just I told, no. Okay, come on, the last one then for the day. Okay, then I can finally have the tea. Not the types of audit, we are taking one big question. Basic principles governing an audit. This is what we are doing. This again, big question, very important. Examination 8 to 10 marks has been asked for 10 also. Okay. Acha, maximum what they can ask you is a question worth for 10 marks. Big question. Now, what are basic principles governing an audit? I have done all the homework and kept ready. Yeah. See, basic principles governing an audit. In short, I will tell it BPGA. Okay. Now, what is BPGA? Basic principles governing an audit. So in short, it is BPGA. Okay. Now doubt. What is BPGA? Two simple words, professional responsibilities. What? Professional responsibilities of whom? Of the auditor to always be followed whenever he is carrying out an audit. Repeating. Basic principles governing an auditor, professional responsibilities to be followed by the auditor whenever he is carrying out an audit. So whenever he does an audit, he has to carry out certain professional responsibilities. Those professional responsibilities are basic principles governing an audit. Asha, how many basic principles are there? 9 basic principles are there. It means whenever the auditor will do audit, he has to keep in his mind all the basic principles. Only then he should carry out the function of audit. Now do you understand? Okay. Now what are the basic principles? These are the basic principles. 9 basic principles. Okay. Let us see one by one. Then explanation, very important. Focus on integrity, objectivity, and independence. Next, confidentiality. Next, skills and competence. Next, work performed by others. Next, audit evidence. Next, planning. Next, documentation. Next, conclusions and reporting. And last one, systems. Which systems? Two systems, which you already know. Accounting system and ICS. All cool? Now let us understand one by one in great detail how important it is. Come on. First is integrity, objectivity, and independence. What do you mean by this? Auditor should be honest. He has to be sincere. he has to be straightforward, and he must have an impartial attitude. Which attitude? Impartial attitude. It means he must be biased or unbiased. Unbiased, correct. That is the meaning of integrity, objectivity, and independence. What all did I tell? Auditor should be honest. Then he must be sincere. Then he must be straightforward. And he must have an impartial attitude. What do you mean by impartial attitude? Correct. Biased or unbiased? Unbiased. All cool. All cool. Come on. Next is confidentiality. Come on. Think and answer. What do you mean by confidentiality? Correct. Secrecy. Don't tell it to anybody. Just like some of the friends or some of the people come and tell you some secret and they tell you, please don't tell him, huh? Or don't tell her. Huh? And that is the first thing that you do next when he goes off. So, I mean, that is confidentiality. We don't, I'm not talking about any gender, but then self-explanatory, but then that's fine. Okay. No, nothing like that. Yeah. Now think and answer. Okay. When you talk about confidentiality, can I say like this? Auditor, he will obtain a lot of information. Correct. When he obtains information, this information belongs to the company. He should disclose to the third party or no? No. Correct. So can I say that is the meaning of confidentiality? However, he can disclose under two situations. One, when there is any legal or professional duty. Supposing the court of law tells to the auditor disclose information, then can I say he will have to disclose information? Acha. Next, when there is the authority of the management only. When management have no problem in disclosing, then can I disclose? I can disclose. Then it is no secret anyways. So basically, I hope realize when I say first confidentiality, auditor should not disclose information to the third party. However, he can disclose information under any legal or professional duty, or if there is any authority of the management. All cool? All cool. Come on, next one. Next that we have is skills and competence, but that I will explain you after I explain you work performed by others, because I will link it. Okay. So first, fourth, and then I link it to the third. Now, when I say others means three people. Who all? One, assistants. Two, other auditors. And three, experts. Repeating, assistants, other auditors, experts. Now it is work performed by others. Who is using the work? Auditor. So auditor is using the work performed by others. Others mean how many people? Three, assistants, other auditors, and experts. Now important to understand, before the auditor can rely on assistants' work, first he has to review their work. Why? Arey Baba, they are assistants. They are inexperienced people. So ultimately, if they make certain mistake, who will be held responsible? Auditor, because it is his signature, not assistant signature. So before auditor relies on whose work? Assistants. Can I say auditor has to rely only after reviewing? All cool? Okay. Next is other auditors. First question. Can one auditor use the help of another auditor? Yes. Okay. And lastly, experts. Example, valuer. There can be lawyer. Hello. For a simple example, say there is a case against the company. Okay. And I want to know the outcome of the case. What basically it can happen. Whether company will win or company will lose. If company will lose, then we will make a provision for the loss. Something like that. So I can use the help of a lawyer. Yes. Then that lawyer becomes expert. One more example. Say I'm auditing a bank. So can I say I should have knowledge of the Banking Regulations Act 1949? But I'm auditor. I'm not a lawyer. So I may not have full knowledge of that law. It happens in real life also. Hello. In real life, you know what happens? In real life, you open the book and see what is there. And then you do work. That happens in real life. But to do that, first you have to answer with closed books. So first answer with closed. Only then in entire life, you can answer with open. Now listen. Now supposing say, I want to know about Banking Regulations Act. Then I can go to a certain lawyer or a certain person who has knowledge in that Banking Regulations Act. Then that also becomes an expert. So basically I hope I raise three things: assistants, other auditors, expert. But my simple question to you, supposing I want an expert, I go down, okay, and I ask anybody, become expert. Is that okay? No. Can I say he should be skillful and he should be capable and competent? No. It means anybody who is doing the work should have some skills, should have capability and competence. Bas, that is your third part, skills and competence. So when I say people who are doing audit, those people should be skillful and they should be competent. Competent is capable. All cool? All cool. Come on. Next is audit evidence. Audit evidence we have heard somewhere, yeah? Correct. Very good. Can I say audit evidence in one word? Very nice. Is nothing but information. Paying attention. Nice. Acha. So audit evidence is information. Information why? Because obviously auditor wants to give an opinion. So if he wants to give an opinion, he requires information. This information is known as audit evidence. Now, I don't want audit evidence. I want which type of audit evidence? Hear carefully. Yeah? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. What? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Rahul, sorry, Rahul. It's okay, Rahul. This in short, I will tell as SAE. What is SAE? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Now, this is very important phrase of auditing. Sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. You have to remember it. SAE. Now, what do you mean by sufficient? It should be enough, quantity wise. And what do you mean by appropriate? It should be relevant and reliable. This is quality. I'll give you a simple example here. I want to give an opinion, so I require information. Can I give opinion on this much information? Ittu sa? No. So can I say I should require at least sufficient information? Asha. Next, it should be appropriate also. Now, I am auditor. Can I say most information I'll get from the management? I asked to the management, batao, give me information about debtors. You know what management gave me? They gave me newspaper. Now, newspaper also has information, but use common sense. Is it relevant to me? No. Is it appropriate to me? No. Then use common sense. That is inappropriate information. So basically, the information which I'm getting should not only be sufficient, it should also be appropriate. It is not sufficient or appropriate. It is sufficient and appropriate. So it should be enough quantity wise and it should be appropriate quality wise. All cool? So always remember, whenever I say audit evidence, what should come in your head? Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. In short, what do you tell? SAE. What is SAE? Sufficient, appropriate audit evidence. Okay, come on. Then we have this. First one, planning. First question, is planning required? Oh yes. Arey Baba, planning is required for your CA course also. You are a CA student, you should plan now. Supposing your exam is on so and so date, you already know at least the month. Then obviously at least you know how to plan to finish your course after all, because it's a big course at the end of the day. Obviously, out of the two courses of inter and final, if you ask me what is important, it is inter. Now you will tell, because sir, you don't teach final. That is not the reason. I used to, but then yeah, whatever. So basically, the reason is that inter CA makes your job simpler to become a chartered accountant. Final CA eventually is the last step. So you will not stop on the last step, but you will definitely stop on the second step. Inter CA, if people don't clear major, I have seen people change their entire life course only. It means if you don't become, like if you don't clear inter CA for numerous attempts, then people I have seen, they change courses only. They don't do chartered accountancy anymore. They do something else. Okay. So basically inter CA, if you clear trust me, your goal of chartered accountancy becomes that more near. Difference between inter and final is what, it's just the portion in terms of quantity, not that much in terms of quality. Like in final CA, the portion is also huge, but it is simpler. Here, you know why you are feeling a bit more difficult, if at all you are so feeling, from foundation, because from foundation to inter is a huge gap, but from inter to final, it is not a huge gap. The gap is still okay. I hope there were 4, here there are 8, and that also 8 papers. Subjects are not 8, subjects are still many. Not only that, eventually you are coming at inter CA, you're doing so many subjects for the first time. Auditing is for the first time, taxation is for the first time, costing is for the first time, FM is for the first time. So obviously when there are first times now, there is a bit of a problem when there's first times. That's why it happens. But trust me, if you clear inter CA now, which you should, okay, if you do properly, then there's no stopping you becoming a chartered accountant. But inter CA is an important step. Anyways, planning. Think and tell me. Will the auditor also plan? Yes. Acha, why do you plan for CA exams? Why will you plan? Because you have to complete so much portion, but the time is limited. So can I say it is because you want to complete it on a timely basis? Not only that, will you work 23 hours out of the given 24? No. Can I say you require time for yourself? Yes. So can I say it should be efficient completion? Yes. So it is for timely and efficient completion. Do you agree? Same. Auditor also has to plan so that he completes the audit in a timely and efficient manner. Not only that, think and tell me. Auditor will have one audit or many audits? Many audits. So he will have one audit or one client or many clients? Many clients. Think and tell me. Every client business will be same? No. Will it be different? Yes. Now, is it okay if the auditor has only one plan? Universal plan? Will it work for everybody? No. Acha, will your plan for auditing subject work for FM? No. There the plans have to be different. Theory is different. Practical is different. You cannot mix both of them. Then use common sense. Can I say the plans of the auditor should be based on whose business? Correct, client's business. So it would be based on the knowledge of, can I say client's business? So the plan should be obviously taking into consideration the client's business. All cool? All cool. Come on. Next is documentation. First, I want a word from you. What do you mean by documentation? Come on. Come on, yeah. Something has to be there. Come on, tell me. Documentation. Report, not really. Filing, not really. Reports, not really. Putting on paper to an extent, yeah. Process of making report, not really. Preparing a statement, okay. Filing the reports, okay. In writing. ये कौन है? Ovia. Ah, right. Something recording. Recording is the perfect word. Somebody gave me recording in the first place. Ovia only, I think. Very nice. Recording is the word then that I was looking for. See, what do you mean by documenting? Documenting is basically recording. Can I say you as an auditor will get a lot of information? Come on, yeah. What will you do of this information? You will fire it? No. Can I say obviously you will record it? This record of information, okay, this record of information is known as documentation. Now, important to understand, why do you require this record of information? Can I say for the auditor, it acts as an evidence. See, what did I tell you? Supposing if the client, management, they file a case against you and you go in the court of law, how will you defend yourself? So, Your Honor, I am not guilty. I am auditor. Like this, you will tell. No. Can I say you'll have to give some proof? Can I say then in proof, what you'll have to give is your documents. What you'll have to give is the record of information. Come on, yeah. To show that you have done audit as it was required to be done. What comes in documentation, what all do you record? That I'll tell you later. But can I say definitely you have to record? This documentation, in other words, is also known as working papers. Which papers? Working papers. See, it is just a fancy name. There's nothing great about it. Whether you say documentation or whether you say working papers, meaning is one and the same. Just like, what do you mean by information? Correct. Information is known as audit evidence. Correct. Similarly, then what do you mean by documentation? It is known as working papers. So working papers, one word, documentation. Audit evidence, one word, information. Now do you understand? Okay, come on. Next, conclusions and reporting. Hey, this we have heard somewhere, yeah? Conclusions and reporting. Think, where? Think. Correct. Not bad, huh? Dhyan hai tera kafi. Correct. This I told you here only. Form and express. Hello. I told you this during objectives. See, primary. To form and express an opinion. What do you mean by form? Correct. Can I say basically to form is to conclude and express is reporting. So basically, obviously, when I say here, where did it go? Conclusions and reporting. So basically here, as per this, auditor should form an opinion, and after he forms an opinion, correct, he has to express the opinion. Perfect. All cool? Okay. And the last one, systems. Come on. Systems are how many? Two. AS and ICS. Systems made by management. Checked by auditor. Whether the systems are there or not. Whether they are working or not. Whether they are in effect or not. Whether they are continuous or not. So everything done by everything done by management. Checked by audit. Even I am paying attention like you, yeah. So rude. Correct. So my simple question to you: can I say auditor will check the systems? Okay. Systems can be either efficient or inefficient. Now, statement. Depending upon the system's efficiency, more or less, auditor will decide how much procedures he should perform. Repeating, depending upon the efficiency of the systems, auditor will decide how much procedures he should perform. Supposing if I tell you like this, the systems are weak, then think and tell me procedures performed by auditor will be less or more. Procedures will be more, because if the systems are weak, then obviously frauds and errors will be more. Frauds and errors are more, you have to check more. But if I tell you the systems are efficient, then procedures performed will be lesser. Now do you understand? So statement, hear carefully. Depending on the system, the auditor will decide, here the words are nature, timing, extent of audit procedures. What? Nature, timing, extent of audit procedures. Procedures means audit procedures only, no? This also is an important phrase, just like say. Say was sufficient appropriate audit evidence. What is NT of AP? Nature, timing, extent of audit procedures. What do you mean by nature? Nature means which procedure to perform. Timing means when to perform. Extent means how much to perform. Now, what to perform, when to perform, and how much to perform will depend upon the systems. Whether the systems are efficient or whether they are inefficient. All cool? Come on. So how many are there? 9. One by one. Come on. Quick recap. Firstly, what do you mean by integrity, objective, and independence? Auditor should be honest, sincere, straightforward, impartial attitude. What do you mean by confidentiality? Secrecy. Information should be disclosed to third party or should not? Should not. However, can he disclose? He can. Under two situations. Legal or professional duty, if there is permission of the management. Okay. Next is skills and competence. So anybody who is performing audit should have the requisite skills and competence in auditing. Work performed by others. Others, how many people? 3. Which 3? Assistants, other auditors, experts. Acha, auditor should blindly depend upon assistants' work. No, he should review, because if that goes wrong, he is responsible. Okay, audit evidence, correct, sufficient and appropriate. What is sufficient? Quantity, enough. Appropriate, relevant and reliable, quality. So remember the phrase CE. Okay, next is planning. Why? To complete audit in timely and efficient manner. All the plans of the auditor should be based on knowledge of client's business. Correct. Next, documentation. Documentation, one word, record. Why does he have to record information? It acts as an evidence. And what are they also known as? Working papers. Next, conclusions and reporting. That is basically form and express an opinion. And lastly, systems. Depending upon the systems, what will the auditor decide? NTE of AP. What is NTE? Nature, timing, extent of audit process. Nature, which procedures, timing, when to perform, extent, how much to perform. All cool? All cool. Now, see, yeah, I mean, we are doing theory. You have to make it a bit simple at the end of the day, no? Although I have tried to explain as much as I can, as simple as much as I can, but let's still make it a bit more simple. How? Correct. There is a key. If this question comes in the exam for 10 marks, I can sure you will get 10 marks. I can be rest assured for that. The key is very nonsensical. Yeah. So don't laugh. Okay. Okay. Let's start. Nonsense idiom. Yeah. Come on. Firstly, I can see what. Now there are 3 brothers. Okay. One brother name is known as Andu. Don't judge me. Yeah. Okay. Acha. Other brother's name is Pandu. Okay. Third brother's name is not what you are thinking. So stop thinking. Stop your brains right there. I know how it goes. Yeah. Andu Pandu. Okay. Next one. Don't do. You can say Dandu also, but I like don't do. Don't do, just chill. Okay. Dandu. It's simple. Yeah. And lastly, cannot see. What? Let us see. What did I tell? What? I can see what Andu, Pandu, don't do, cannot see. What? Tell again. I can see what Andu, Pandu, Dhundu cannot see. Now, some people are feeling whether it is 8th standard or inter CA. Eventually, only the portions changes. The style should not. You keep the same style, you'll still clear. You cleared 8th, no? I hope you did. Ha. Why did you do? Because there was nonsense. Let us bring it again. Now, how do you remember? See, I stands for integrity, objectivity, independence. Okay. CAN stands for confidentiality. S stands for skills and competence. W stands for work performed by others. Andu stands for audit evidence. Pandu stands for planning. Dondu stands for documentation. Cannot stands for conclusions and reporting. And C stands for systems, AS and ICS. See, I'm telling you, you will remember, but you should remember this nonsense. No, it is good, yeah. Come on, tell me once more. Come on, tell me. I can see what undo, pandu, don't do, cannot see. Loudly. Let the family members also come and know that what is happening here. Are you doing chartered accountancy? They will definitely have a doubt after this lecture. Come on, yaar. I can see what undo, pandu, don't do, cannot see. Perfect. You remember this much, you get 8 marks. Now, supposing in the examination, listen, you get a question. Question 6A. What are basic principles governing an audit? Again, with pencil, what should you do? Just write this much, undo, pandu. Trust me, other things you will remember. But you should write like this, Andu Pandu. That's more than enough. All cool? Come on, Andu Pandu. Huh. Come to the textbook. Let us mark it. It is quite behind, if I'm not wrong. Goes on, goes on, goes on. Chal right, chal right, chal right, chal right. Aa gaya. I have it on page 10. I don't know your page number. So please excuse me for that because I have not been given that same book which you have been. Hey, it was a good key. Yeah. Page 15. Okay. This is your NTE of AP. Nature, timing, extent of audit procedures, and this is your CE, sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Sufficient is your quantity and appropriate is your quality. Okay, page 15 for you. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Come on, I want you to mark it, read it, important. Huh? And see, this also you write down, it is also known as working papers, like I have written for documentation. I don't think it is written there. I think page numbers are different, answer is still the same. See, I told you they are professional responsibilities. These two words you have to remember. This is basically your Pandu. This is scan. Ah, you don't want to write, it's fine, huh? Because that I can see it is not in the same order. That's a problem. See why I made this order and write. I'm not mad. Why did I write in this order? Because there's a key. If you see in the textbook, it is not in the same order. In the examination, order is not important. Answer is. Obviously, we'll write it in the key chart. We have made key chart now. See, that's why I told you that key chart is important. Come on, Danya. Go to the key chart. Fill up the key chart. You made a key chart, not today. Let us update that. We'll keep on updating the key chart so that at the end we don't have to write all the keys together. In that you write down second one. Basic principles governing an audit. Will you try yourself? I can see you entirely. Try yourself, no? What no? So rude. Somo. Try, try. Come on, do it. Basically, this is the answer. How we write it. First, try yourself. If not, then on the board, the answer is already there. हाँ नॉनसेंसिकल है या थोड़ा बट देन ठीक है ना काम आता है. How do you remember so much of theory in the first place? I don't know that. Exactly. Nonsense. Don't think that what I'm teaching is nonsense. Ah, yeah, so rude. But yeah, keys, something like that are required. Even in IT, I used to make keys. That EIS is there, no? Oh my god. Which language they talk to me, I don't know. EIS. So difficult it was. I made some nonsensical key, then I was like, let me see if I can remember something or the other. Some nonsense I used to do. I don't know what keys I made for EIS, but then yeah, at the end of the day, then I had to teach this part, so I remember. EIS, I don't remember. Also, I don't know where my book also of EIS will be. I mean, I will keep all the books in world rather than EIS. I mean, I mean, if I have to record something, I mean, it does not act as an evidence. EIS at least. Uh, See, make some nonsensical key of your brain also. I mean, use your brain. I mean, now you have to use your brain in the correct direction because that is a nonsense direction which you have to do, right? It works. It works in that manner only. Yeah, now use it, no? Exactly. Some see, I'm not telling key should be like this. Any nonsensical word also which you can make. Yeah, any dictionary word, any name, anything like that. Yeah. Some of the names that I get on the screen also, some names are also like keys. They're so different. I've never heard I've never heard those names in my life. First times that I'm hearing. Yeah, like that. Fancy. I want to make a key for principal aspects here. Let me see if I can do. I don't know. Today, no. Today, Sunday. Sunday, I'll not impact the brain, but I'll try to make the key for principal aspects. A very important answer, yeah, the principal aspects is 8 to 10 marks. Come on, you have finished writing the entire answer or what? Like this, you have to write entirely. Integrity object. I'm waiting for you. What you are waiting for me like this and looking at me? If looking at me will give you marks, take my photo. Chumma, yeah, not writing. Come on, finish it. Hmm. Were you last bencher? No. I mean, with my height, no. In fact, I was contrary. At my inter C, I was first bench. At my final C, I was second bench. I have a small height, yeah, 5'4.5". Where will I sit? I used to sit ahead only. I used to trouble the students as much, trouble the professor as much as I can. It was fun. But even the professors used to like. They also wanted to be troubled. I felt they also were like, ah, yeah, somebody is there to chat chit along with. I used to always do that. When I used to use chat chit, that is the only time when I used to understand my professor. No, no, nothing like that. Yeah, no. I was a JKSC student only. Yeah, yeah. I was at Andheri branch. Their head office is there. No, there only. Long time. Yeah, 2000 November 2010. I gave finals here. Yeah, almost. I mean, 10 plus years. Yeah. No, no, I did not get a rank. I wanted a rank. but then I did not get. I just cleared, yeah. First attempt, yeah. So rude. Sale. I told I got 40 in tax. That does not mean that 40 is not passing. I know. Rude. Yeah. You should see. I don't know how many of you are aware. People normally ask me this doubt also. You should give one group or two groups. That is a doubt which I get many number of times from the student. Not obviously subject oriented, but course oriented. You should always give two groups together. You should not give one group. Why? There is always an advantage of set off. You understand what set off is? Many people don't. That's the biggest problem. Acha, what set off basically means is, I'll tell also. For people who know also, it's fine. I mean, for people who don't know, it is an addition. See, set off is like you have two groups, right? Group one, group two. That is how you have. Now, total is 800 marks. Now, what is your passing pattern? Out of this, you have to get 400 minimum. So you have to get 50% in aggregate. Correct? And individual subjects, whatever are there, you have 8 papers, 4 here, 4 here. So basically, in every paper, you should get minimum 40. But I hope, as if you get supposing 160 or 160 here, that is 320. You are still failing. Because I hope your this is satisfied, but this is not satisfied. They are and conditions. They are not or conditions. Correct? Now, supposing say your group one is very strong. Okay. And say supposing in your group one, you got somewhere around you want 400, right? Say 260. Assume. And in every subject you have 40 a minimum. That is the assumption that I'm making. Okay. Now I hope realize, supposing say here you got 160 only. 160, it is not 50% here. Then total of this is 420, right? Still you pass. Still you pass. Why? Because that 50% which was required here, that can be set off here. So whatever is 40, I will take that 40 from above. This is known as nothing but set off. You understood what a set off means? So if I don't get 50% here in total, supposing I want basically to 200, na yaar, as such 50%. But say I did not get 200, I just got 160 and I got 40 in every subject. But ultimately here say I got 240. Then if this total is 400, then I still pass. Why? Because it is set off here. This 40 can be set off down. This is a huge advantage. Huge advantage. Why do I tell you? Because I myself am a result of set off. Exactly. So it comes from the mouth of somebody who has already experienced it. Don't lose it. And I'm actually a result of set off not only at inter CA. I'm a result of set off even at final CA. You know how much in tax I got at final CA? Same 40. I have 40 in tax throughout. Why? I don't want to pay more tax. I don't want more marks in tax. Keep it. Shove it. I don't get it. Keep it. Nahi chahiye mere ko. This is how it is. So don't ask about groups anymore. Okay? It is always like that. Auditing is not difficult here. Why people fail to crack it so much is because of the simple reason that their language is very poor. See, what is the normal thing that you'll ask me? Normal thing that people ask me is, sir, can we write in our own language? You ask that to everybody, right? Sir, can we write something in our own language? Problem is, it is your own language. That own word comes now. Now look at you. You don't have a language of your own. That is the biggest problem. And you want to write in your own language. How can you do that? I have seen papers where people don't have command over English language at all, and then they want to write in their own language. The problem is your own language is dash. Yeah. So it should be decent, yeah. At least decently if you write. See, that's why am I pondering on words like, so many times I told you say, so many times I told you this NT of AP. Why do I keep on repeating all this part? It takes effort in the first place. Still, why do I do it? It is because I want you to write the paper auditing. I don't want you to write the paper English. That's the difference. That's the difference between you getting real good marks and just passing. Passing is not a problem. Okay, passing should definitely not be a problem. Your problem should be scoring. And for scoring, you have to learn those words. There's no other way around it. All cools? Did you finish this key chart? Shall we go and have breakfast now? Go, enjoy yourself. Let me have my cup of tea. Get lost. Go away from here. I'll see you nothing but. Tomorrow we have lecture together. Tomorrow morning only, 6:30. Yeah. At least tomorrow is Monday. It will hurt a bit less. Go. Bye. Cheers. Yeah. I'll see you. Bye. Yeah. Yeah. Have a good lunch and sleep in the afternoon. I have to take lecture. Rude. Oh, you're gonna do that now Sunday? Test, West. Chumma test. You are telling, yeah. Huh, nonsense. What test and all you are giving? Huh? Arey, thank you. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. Yeah. I'll change your perception towards auditing. Don't worry. That's my job. Yeah. I think I made folders. I'm just saving it. Too much panchat you have in life. Go eat now. Hey, my name, what will you do? Yeah. You're gonna search and you're gonna like stop me, no? Go find my name. Homework for today. Go. Screenshots, etc. Illa. You should have taken then only, no? Now I'll not go. Huh. Next lecture you ask, okay? Illa, it seems. I know, I told Rahul, still they are finding it. I told in between Rahul, still they are wondering whatever it is.